This is a Headgum podcast.
I find this little phone and I cold call Stanley Kubrick and I say, I've been working on these drawings and I want a job. And he said, okay. This was Douglas Trumbull, as quoted in a 2005 interview with Sean Axmaker, explaining how a bold and naive ask led to his role creating special photographic effects for the film 2001, A Space Odyssey. Trumbull was still in his early 20s when he relocated from Los Angeles to London to work on Kubrick's sci-fi masterpiece, in which he oversaw the now legendary psychedelic Stargate sequence, among other set pieces. Trumbull, himself the son of an effects artist turned aerospace engineer, amassed a staggering set of VFX credits over a 4-decade career, including Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, and Terrence Malick's The Tree of Life. Trumbull would also direct movies of his own, though his most widely seen directing credit may have been another collaboration with Spielberg, a motion simulator called Back to the Future: The Ride. The interactive version of Zemeckis' time travel franchise opened at Universal Studios Florida and Hollywood in 1991 and 1993, respectively, and became a beloved attraction among theme park enthusiasts. The neighboring park grounds also housed the similarly adored, though a bit of a non sequitur, Doc Brown's Fancy Fried Chicken, named for the film's Einstein-coded inventor, played by Christopher Lloyd. However, in 2008, in the aftermath of the wildly successful Simpsons movie, Back to the Future: The Ride was replaced by The Simpsons Ride, and the surrounding environs, in time, converted into a simulacrum of Homer's hometown of Springfield, complete with food and beverages pulled from the animated sitcom. Doc Brown's Chicken was also a casualty, replaced by Cletus's Chicken Shack, the swapping of a brilliant scientist for a slack-jawed yokel, fittingly symbolic of a coarsening America's rejection of intellectualism. But now, The Simpsons Ride and Springfield itself seem likely to shutter in the near future, with Universal competitor Disney's acquisition of Fox and The Simpsons IP. Which means to experience The Simpsons Ride, as with the Trumbull-directed Marty McFly experience, one's only option will be to go back to the future. Or I guess the past. This week on Doughboys, we visit Universal Springfield to review Krusty Burger. Welcome to Doughboys, the podcast about chain restaurants. I'm Nick Weiger, along with my co-host, Philip C. No Hogman, the Spoon Man Mike Mitchell.
Pretty good.
Hey guys,
Pretty good roast.
Hope you like this roast about Mitch not being able to see his own hog. It took me months to work up the courage to ask my wife to send it in for me. Love you, Mitch. Love the show. Rob, roastedbirdfuck.com.
God, what supermodel wife of his sent it in?
Supermodel wife factors into Despicable Me 4.
Does Gru have a supermodel wife?
No, Gru does not have a supermodel wife. Gru's wife works for the Anti-Villain League. It is the Maxime Lamal, the supervillain that he is battling, has a wife, voiced by Will Ferrell. His wife is a supermodel voiced by Sofia Vergara. Yeah. A lot going on in that movie.
Now, you told me not to date things before, but you're bringing up Despicable Me 4.
Well, that's evergreen.
Because Windows crashed today.
That's right. Today, July 19th, 2024, we're recording a big Windows crash. So perhaps the country is still dealing with the aftermath of that. We don't know what the long tail is going to be.
Has Y2K begun? Who knows?
Is this a delayed Y2K?
It could be.
They finally got around to Y2K.
We know that it's November. You're thinking turkey. You got turkey on the brain.
Turkey on the brain.
But Windows just crashed. And listen to this. Windows crashes and old Bill Gates cries.
Do you,
All
Emma?
my files coming back again.
Okay, now I get it. I didn't get it till you landed on the chorus.
Lightning Crash is by wait, no, it's not REM. It's by who's that? Who's the REM type band that it's Live.
Live. Oh,
by Live. It was by Live.
Throwing Copper fame.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Well, before I got in here, anyways, it was worth it to sing my Windows Crashes parody, I think. Before I got in here, I saw you were parking on the street where you could get a ticket.
That's right.
I said, Wags, no parking there today. You said, I'll just eat the ticket. That's what you said.
Well, here's the thing.
Now, you eat a lot. You eat a lot of things. But eat the ticket? You're going to eat the ticket?
This is the thing. I arrived very close to showtime. We ended up starting late, so I was able to move my car. But I arrived very close to showtime. I was like, if I try to find a parking space, it's street sweeping day today. We don't know. It's normally a record day. I was like, if I try to find a parking space, I'm going to be late. So
the street sweep is like, move your vehicle, governor?
Yeah, we got old-time chimney sweeps. A lot of British expats, they find employment in the States. They're like struggle, like, how do I use this skill set? There's no chimneys out in L.A.
I'll ticket you, I will, if you don't move your car.
And then they can take a role sweeping streets, so that's nice for them.
You're just not putting up with me today.
No, I'm having a good time. I wish you were wearing the Bowser shirt.
It doesn't fit me.
I know. So we got, for our audio listeners, Mitch and I at Universal, which we're going to be discussing at length today with our guests. We hatched a scheme to get matching shirts, and so Mitch got a Bowser shirt, and I got a Bowser Jr. shirt. And I was like, "That's fun."
Move your iPad for the camera.
Let me move my iPad. Yeah, let's see. I don't know how visible it is.
We thought it was good. I got to lose a few pounds. Look, I'm just gonna say it off the bat.
Mitch has his in Mitch's defense, he has it draped over his torso,
which makes me look like a jackass. But I was going to say, Silver Spoon Man, this guy's eating tickets. I don't know. I think we should try to.
I was going to do because I was going to be late. I don't want to be late for our episode. I was like, well, that's a cost of doing business.
Oh my God, you're a fucking martyr.
Yeah, I am. Thank you, Mitch.
It doesn't fit me. I'm going to say this. I mean, our listeners will just be like, you eat hot dogs and hamburgers all the time. I don't give a shit. Universal's a little bit sizest. Can we agree here?
It'd be nice if they had some more sizes, yeah.
They should have some bigger sizes.
Right.
I was in there. There was a bunch of fucking tubbos walking around, including myself.
Yeah.
A lot of big people. And they you can't get on the Harry Potter ride.
Some of the rides are, yes.
It's the only ride I've ever been booted off of. And I was in the elevator with like 7 people when I went down.
We've also heard this about the Secret Life of Pets ride.
Yes,
that can be an issue.
We were told this yesterday that the Secret Life of Pets ride was, and you basically were trying to get us to ride it.
Well, I hear it was good, and it's also from Illumination, who makes the Despicable Me franchise.
And as we were hearing that, like, I definitely won't fit on
I wasn't going to try to bully you into trying to get on the
Mario Kart ride, we have some friends.
You might not fit on.
We really were hoping that Jemmy goes in the empty chair today.
Yeah, so there's an empty chair today. It's not a spiritual thing. It is just because our guests are remote. So we have an empty chair.
Some days it is a spiritual thing.
So often it is. Jemmy is eyeing the empty chair. She normally cozies up next to Mitch. Right now she's just kind of at my feet. We'll see where she lands.
Mario Kart ride also big. And I know.
Yeah.
I know. You eat cheesesteaks. You don't know anything about me. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, that's to our listeners.
It should fit a Wario-sized human being.
Yes. If Wario can't ride it, you've got something's going wrong.
You know, what's he going to do? He's going to get down there. He's going to go, ah! You know, he's going to be all pissed off.
Yeah, he's going to be pissed.
Because his whole thing
I think it should fit a Bowser size or
DK.
Person.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Anyone from the game who gets in those carts should be able to
Morton Koopa Jr., he's got to fit in there.
I agree.
It's a big dude.
It would have been fun.
Yeah.
We got the 2X. I needed a 3X. That's just the way it went.
Yeah, they look like they were in the store. They look like they were big. And then
when I went to put it on, when I went to put it on this morning, I was like, "Oh, the bottom is pretty tight." I knew I was in trouble.
Yeah.
But lengthwise, pretty good.
Yeah.
Look, I was in Canada the past week.
That's right.
Shot the first episode of Twisted Metal season 2. It's done. It's in the can, as they say.
Wow, how about that?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Going back.
You have a little bit, the schedule-wise.
Small break.
We're able to record this episode, which we were supposed to record earlier. We'll get into that. Mm-hmm. But we're able to record this week because we have a surprising window where you're back in LA for like a week and a half.
Careful with windows. You know what happens. They're breaking today.
Yeah, they might crash.
They're crashing out. Also,
Windows goes too fast. Watch out, boy, you're gonna crash.
See? We're
having fun.
Also, a former president was almost assassinated. We don't have to get into any of this.
That.
We don't have to get
former.
Now, maybe current president.
Well, it wouldn't be current, but president-elect.
Oh, president-elect.
Possibly a Grover Cleveland situation. We didn't need to get into any of this. We're recording in July. I said in advance we don't need to talk about
dropped
any of
out
this.
of the race. We should just guess things.
Josh Shapiro, the new vice presidential nominee. We should just guess things.
Can I?
Pennsylvania governor.
Can I say, you know who saw that Trump attempted assassination and have a big sigh of relief? Trump's ENT.
His ear, nose, and throat guy.
Got shot?
He breathed a sigh of relief because he has one fewer ear to tend to? Is that your logic? Wouldn't he be concerned? Because that's like, hey, that's the thing I have to take care of.
I would say he's a sigh of relief, like, thank God I wasn't there, like, checking out the ear.
That is so complicated, Mitch. This is not only super dated, but the most complicated joke I've heard about this topic.
Can you?
So people are gonna have
will
to
you agree with
remember
me that
what
his
happened.
ENT gave a sigh of relief, whether it's like, well, one less ear to work on?
There's going to be so much crazy shit that happens between when we're recording and when this episode comes out that people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I guess someone did shoot Trump in the ear. That's right.
I don't think people will forget Trump. And I'll say this too. Look, I don't want anyone to die ever. That's my stance.
Yeah, you're kind of just generally anti-death.
I am anti-death. You know this.
You do fear the Reaper.
I do fear the Reaper. I don't like the Reaper is up there with the devil. I don't like the Reaper. I do fear the Reaper. Less cowbell, if you ask me. Come on now.
I'm back out.
But I just want to say this.
Yeah.
With all the seriousness of this past week, it is just funny that for Trump to get shot in the ear is funny. It's funny. If you got shot in the ear, I'd be like, oh my God, and then I would be like, it's pretty fucking funny.
It'd be kind of funny if I got
If you got shot in the ear, a little piece of your ear went off. It's the same thing. I mean, like, if it happened to Joe Biden, he would probably just burst into dust, we've said. But still, I would be like, oh, that's funny. It's a funny thing to happen. The thing surrounding it, awful. People dying, awful. It's an awful thing. But someone getting shot in the ear is kind of funny. I'm sorry, every comedian that's afraid to say it out loud.
I mean, I think people probably have said it at this point. And then again, just like enough time has passed. Like that. We're talking about that.
I mean, I'm saying the week of right now. People,
you need a TikTok account. You need a TikTok account. You need to get on there. You'd be like, hey, it's the Spoon Man. I gotta this shit's going on. I gotta get my thoughts out on the Windows crash. You can do your thing. You can get it out of your system that way, and then you don't have to say it on this podcast, which very often is recorded well in advance.
You want my TikTok to take off and me to leave the podcast?
Hey, you know what? That would make all our lives easier.
You wouldn't be eating tickets anymore.
That's true.
Look, we got to introduce our guest.
I
just want to say that I found out, like, in Canada that Trump there was an assassination attempt.
That's wild.
So it was like, hey, it's like some hoser almost assassinated Trump.
Someone said that to you? Like a Mountie pulled up? Now let me say this in French, Canada's other official language.
Strange country up there, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Well, yeah, we'll get into it. Emma, let's hit him with a drop.
I used to work at The Simpsons. When I worked at The Simpsons, and I started working at The Simpsons, I worked at The Simpsons.
Because I worked at The Simpsons.
I worked at The Simpsons. I worked at The Simpsons.
Did you work at The Simpsons?
I worked at The Simpsons when I was working at The Simpsons.
When I worked at The Simpsons. I was working at The Simpsons.
Did I tell the story when I worked at The Simpsons?
Do you get deja vu?
It's true. I did work at The Simpsons.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I'm impressed by how many clips that had.
Yes.
That was an impressive archival job.
You know who's a really good drop maker?
Who's that?
Finky.
Oh, that's a classic Finky.
You know what's funny? Was that the Simpsons just isolated? Because it sounded so strange. Hey, Mitch, if I had worked at The Simpsons, I wouldn't stop bringing it up either. Chris Finky.
Thanks, Finky. Drops at birdfuck.com.
We got to introduce our
guest. A fitting drop for long overdue guests on the podcast.
Also, Anya's just yelling out here, and something's going on.
Yeah, Anya, what is she doing?
She's going crazy.
She's yelling at someone.
She's yelling at somebody.
I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of that.
This is Rick and I are scared.
Okay. All right. She's wagging her finger and she's making a scene. I don't know what's going on.
There is a lot of finger wagging.
What is happening?
Anyway,
I think it's okay. I think it's all right.
I think we're okay.
I think it's maybe not as heated as it looks from here.
I think I might be excited.
Might be more just like a general excitement energy.
I'm actually surprised that anyone's in here. Headgum employees are they kind of act like teachers. They take the summer off usually.
Yeah, and it feels like there's kind of like an ongoing 4-day weekend just year round. So like for anyone to be here on a Friday.
Not for production.
Not for production. Okay. Not for the people who make the podcast.
Just for Casey.
Got it.
Casey is in here by himself, like that Twilight Zone episode with a guy who wants to read. Anyways, we should introduce our guest.
A lot of excitement out there. A lot of excitement in here with our guest today. They host the great podcast Talking Simpsons, Bob, Mackey, and Henry Gilbert. Hi, Bob. Hi, Henry.
Ahoy, hoy, everybody.
Thank you for having. Thank you for having us.
God, Jesus Christ, you're blowing it.
And we don't work for The Simpsons, but in a way, they work for us.
Wow, there you go.
And business is good. Business is good.
Great to have you back on. You both on. We've been on your podcast. Mitch and I have a few times. A great podcast, really fun to do. We were talking with Susser about. Susser was raving about your podcast. It's really great. And I wanted to ask you, because we'll have plenty of Simpsons to talk about, but since we got to the topic of Canada, Bob, you now live in Vancouver. Is that correct?
That's true. The rumors are true.
How long have you been there?
It'll be a year in just a few weeks here.
Okay, so I haven't spent a lot of time in Vancouver. When I've been up there, it's been for work. But my understanding is that there's a great food scene up there.
Yeah, I used to love going to different cities for the food, but now I'm incredibly spoiled, especially in the neighborhood I'm in now, which is right off of Commercial Drive. I'm in Little Italy, and believe it or not, there's fantastic Italian food in Vancouver if you know where to look.
Wow.
How about that?
So far, my experience with the food in...
But you're in Toronto, which is like, it's a completely different region.
I know. It's the other side of the country, basically. But so far, my experience with the food has been very good.
Yeah.
It's been great.
I've heard Canadian food is great. Do you have any...
I do have to tell you about, about this, the Great Burger Heist.
Explain.
I got a burger. I was staying at the Four Seasons, which I know the Silver Spoon Man thing is it's going to come back.
Let's just be clear.
They put me at the Four Seasons
because of you have a strong union behind you, and you're able to. One of the things you're able to do is that they are able to get you the perk of you have a nice hotel room for a job. So that you should be staying there. You're not going out of pocket for it.
I got a burger. At their bar, D Bar. Good food. I asked for medium rare. It came out. It was like super cooked. I never say anything ever, but I ate like half of it and I was like, this is bad. And I was like, this is like a $50 burger. You know what I mean? Like
Jesus Christ. $50 Canadian.
Well, this is the part of the problem. I was like, this burger was so expensive. It was $50.
Yeah.
And then the lady's like, what? It was like, how's your burger? And I was like, I was like, I actually said like, I immediately was in my head. I was texting you about this.
Yeah.
But I was like, did I say medium? I was like asked what temperature I said, and immediately I was like, why did I say this? This is going to lead down a path of, and then she was like, oh, no, I don't know. And then she was like, I'll make you a new one. And I was like, oh God, she's going to make a new one. I never do this. I was mortified at myself for saying something. I was just alone for too long.
It's fair to send something back if it's overcooked, if you're spending that much money.
It was $50, but it was Canadian. But still a kind of expensive burger.
What is that? Bob, do you know offhand roughly what the conversion rate is there?
It's like 30-something bucks.
It's, I would say it's 70 cents to the dollar, maybe? Something like that.
So that's
maybe
still
65, 70 cents.
Still an expensive burger.
Yeah.
But, I sent it back. They sent me a brand new burger. So I got 1.5 burgers.
Why do you call this the burger heist?
Because I got 1.5 burgers. So that's why it's the Great Burger Heist of 2024.
Is that the burger conversion rate in Canada too? Is it's 1.5 burgers?
I have to eat 1.5 burgers to be full.
We should also, I want to remark on something that people who have, I think, seen it by this point on our social media. If you haven't, go check it out. But Bob, your lovely wife, Nina Matsumoto, put together some show art for this episode, Simpsonized all four of us. And it's a really awesome rendering. Can I say this? Like, I think did a better job than the show itself of rendering the Doughboys.
I don't know if you should say that.
I'm going to say it.
I think it's great.
It looks great.
And the show also did a great job.
The show also did a good job, but, look pretty good.
I can burn bridges. I think she did a better job.
Yeah, she did a better job.
She did a fantastic
great job, yeah.
And also, take that, Film Roman.
The drawing now is a lie because we never met in person to eat. We'll cover that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, we were hoping to do this. And that's a whole thing. Well, why don't we just get into it now?
Because, hold on a second. Can I just quickly say...
Yeah.
that with that burger heist, it came with free fries, so it's maybe more like it's the fry heist of 2024.
Well, you got an extra half burger and then another full order of fries.
Full order of fries.
Did you eat all the fries?
Yeah. It was a small order of fries.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
But also, I gave her 100%. I gave her like 100% tip.
Oh, that's nice.
I was so ashamed of myself.
Yeah.
And she came over and she was like, "Thank you for that." She was great.
Yeah.
You're
a generous man.
I never sent anything back. It was like one of the, and I didn't even mean to send it back. Whatever. People make
You're
fun
so
of
in your head about this. It's fine.
I
What
hate
you did
it.
was completely reasonable.
I hated
You're
it.
fine.
I hated it. And I was mad at myself. But anyways.
Because you know what happened in the kitchen? They're like, need another burger on the fly for table 6. So he's like, all right, sure. And the guy just threw another patty on the grill, and it was like fine. It was like an extra 5 minutes of work.
He looked out the window and saw me. He was like, "Oh, I get it. The conversion rate." I fucked everything up for you guys. I got COVID.
Yeah, we were all supposed to meet in person. We were supposed to have a Universal trip, and then we're going to record in studio while y'all were in town down here. What happened is that Mitch got COVID and tested positive.
We don't know when I got it. I did go to Vegas.
We don't know when he got it in Vegas. And we recorded a couple days like right afterwards. Then we were supposed to go to Universal together. Mitch tested positive for COVID. I started feeling symptomatic. And then I also tested positive for COVID. Completely separately, though, as it happened, Bob, you also got COVID on this trip. Is this correct?
Yes. In my defense, I wanted to fit in.
And Henry, you didn't get COVID, but you had some travails of your own.
Unbelievably, I did not get COVID, even though I was everywhere Bob went. And I also went to Disneyland before Bob came.
Wow.
And then after that, I did more flying because I did a family reunion. That's also why I was like, oh, I shouldn't get COVID. I might give it to the my over 70 family members.
Right.
And then the next day, I went to Seattle's Pride Parade. And so I did all of these things, and I... negative every time.
Wow.
No symptoms.
Wow.
So yeah, I felt very lucky until my my washing machine sprung a leak.
Yeah.
It leaked for a whole hour before I noticed it. It leaked from my floor down to the next floor, and so much that the floor below that person, it was leaking into their
Oh, my
apartment. So
God.
that's how much water there was. Yes.
What a nightmare.
Yeah. That is a true. We were saying that we would rather have COVID, though the COVID did. I didn't know COVID was back. First of all,
It's back. It's back.
It was
big time.
back big time. It kicked my.
People might have forgotten about COVID by the time this episode comes out. Oh yeah, there's a thing that was going around.
It kicked my ass.
You took it pretty gnarly. I know some other people who got this pretty bad this round. Mine was
Ferguson
not
had
great.
it. Saunders had it.
Yeah.
Matt Mazzani got a bunch of people had got it at the same time that I got it. I gave it to you. I gave it to look, I probably did get it in Vegas.
Yeah, and then we recorded together in person, and then you got it and I got it. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Did it happen in Vegas?
Probably.
What happens
No.
in Vegas stays in Vegas.
the only time I did get COVID was attending Double or Nothing, the AEW pay-per-view in Las Vegas in 2021. So, or 22. Yeah. So I think Vegas is COVID central.
Yeah,
it's a COVID hotbed, just like Universal Studios is when we were on a ride yesterday and I heard 1 million people coughing the entire time. Of the flirt variant.
Yes, right now, yeah.
Because I'm a flirt. Remember, is that R. Kelly? Should I not? I forget who sings I'm a flirt.
You can sing an R. Kelly parody song. I think that's okay.
Well,
You're making fun of this bad man.
Yeah,
That's
we don't
fine.
like the bad man.
Yeah.
I think that's who sang it.
Yeah.
But we were saying before too that with it's like my COVID passed, but like with Gandalf, we were saying that's hard.
I can't believe this bit that did not work off pod you want to recreate. So yeah, basically what we're saying was
Gandalf is famous for saying like
you shall not pass,
but with
yeah.
COVID he's got to let it pass.
He's got to let it
and
pass.
then we were talking about how Gandalf dealt with Kobe. I mean, we said
Kobe R.I.P. Didn't like to pass all that much. He wanted the Rock. He wanted to put shots up himself.
So he was happy when
Gandalf said, "You shall not pass." He's like, "Yeah, man."
So we just want you guys to know.
I'm going for 60.
We just want you guys to know that Kobe was happy when he heard Gandalf say, "You shall not pass."
That's my life philosophy. He had more assists than he got credit for.
I think I think we're having a great episode.
We're having a great episode.
Today.
Yeah.
I think we're having a great episode.
No, I just want to give you space, Mitch.
Sure. Look, I felt very bad. I ruined I ruined a meetup for all of us to be in person, and it's not my look. I masked on the way to Vegas and on the way to Canada, and people looked at me like I was a freak. By the way,
anytime you're just around a large group of people, you have a chance of infection. It's not anyone's fault in particular.
Yeah, it was a bummer. But
Sus was trying to drive a wedge between us too. He was really eager to because he wanted me to get mad at you for getting me COVID.
Not only did so Susser was like wow, he was being very like, this is your fault.
Yes.
Then Amelia told us that her cat had COVID.
Right.
And then Sus immediately texted our texter with me and Wags and was like, you gave Amelia's cat COVID to me. I'm like, you're a fucking asshole, man. No one, this is 2024. It's not 2020. Yeah. I mean, I said that to him when he was I was like, Sus acting like it's 2020 again, trying to blame me for to give you credit, you never said anything about it.
Well, whatever, people get sick.
It sucked. And it wiped out a whole week before I went to Canada.
The bummer is that we didn't get to do this trip in person, but I do want to get y'all's opinions on theme parks in general, and also I want to hear about your LA food odyssey. But Henry, where do you stand on theme parks? Like, are you a theme park enthusiast?
Yes, I am. I love theme parks. I've gone to them a lot. I liked them just fine, but then when I met my husband, and especially when we got married, we went to Disneyland for both of our first times at Disneyland on our honeymoon, not a honeymoon. Anyway, we went there and we loved it so much that it became like just our thing. And we especially have been to Disneyland like at least once a year for us when it's not in lockdown, at least once a year ever since.
Wow.
And I also grew up in Florida, in northern Florida. So I did go to Orlando Park some as a kid too, though I'm not as in love with them. It was California where I became a theme park enthusiast. And I like Universal Hollywood as well, though Universal Orlando is like such a bigger, more rich park, but it just doesn't have the history. But yes, I'm a theme park guy.
And Bob, how about yourself?
Not as much as Henry, and I think it's because I grew up in Northeast Ohio, and the idea of going to Disneyland was similar to the idea of going to the moon.
Right.
And I feel like I still have that limited imagination. I have to remind myself, you can just go to Disneyland. You're on the West Coast. It's not an expensive plane ride. It's a trip that's within my means. But yeah, I would say it was once a year in my late 30s until COVID happened. And now I have yet to be back to the California park, although I did go to Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea with my wife when we went to Japan late last year. So that was a great adventure.
I hear Disney Sea is like the best. I hear it's the best park.
It is really good, but I think people underrate Tokyo Disneyland because it has a lot of the same things. They don't understand that it has a lot of the same things, but they work better and you're not surrounded by other Americans. Two things that are working in its advantage.
Two huge pluses, yeah.
Yeah.
Though the plus for Disney Sea is that Tokyo Disneyland is like the magnet for the children, so you'll have fewer kids getting in the way of your grown-up, childless Disney fun at Disney Sea. So,
people were saying that Disney Sea was for a more adult audience. It's for the grown-ups, but ultimately, it does feel like it's for the teenagers who think Disneyland is uncool. They're going through that phase, and then when they're adults, they'll go back to Disneyland. But we were just surrounded by incredibly trendy teenagers.
Wow,
at Disney Sea.
Wags' dream.
Okay. Can I? We should mention, because we were talking Mario shirts earlier. I meant to shout this out. Bob, you have on a Boo and King Boo shirt, and then Henry, you have at arm's reach. You have your own You have a Mario shirt that actually matches the aesthetic of me and Mitch's Bowser shirts. Mm-hmm. Is that it? Were those both Universal acquisitions?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I love the design of these. I do feel, I should say for your new listener, or anybody who hasn't heard us before, me and Bob are both big weebs and we love Japanese things. But that I love the design style of all of the Super Nintendo Land stuff, because usually it feels like it was designed first to be sold at the Japan's Universal Studio that's in Osaka, and now it comes over here. So I just love it's big bright colors, big picture. It's all of the character models like from the instruction manual art for the Mario stuff. So right. Yeah, I just love it.
It's all good looking stuff. Actually, that was one thing about that I was not expecting, because I have not been to the park since the opening of Super Nintendo world, and like being adjacent to all that merchandise. I was like, oh, this is all quality stuff.
Yeah,
I really like I totally mirror your thoughts. I really like the design of all of it.
Just get it Wario sized, you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
Now, that was Bob's first trip to Nintendo Land as well when we went. I had been before, but yeah, it was it's just so, for me, I wish it was twice the size, but they only have so much room to work with in Hollywood.
Yeah, the merch and the food definitely puts all the other merch and food in the parks to shame.
There's a little bit of we were saying this, that Universal has like a little bit of, they need to refigure out the map of the park a little bit. They're trying to be more Disney-like.
Yeah.
And they need to figure out the lands a little bit more in Universal.
It's tough because you can only rework the geography so much, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a little anarchic. Although the cohesive biomes of Springfield, which we'll talk about, and Super Nintendo World, like it's kind of cool that those are sanctioned off and they have everything in there. You kind of wish there was something for Despicable Me, right? Like you kind of wish there was like a little Illumination Land. And of course Harry Potter Land, which we didn't go to.
We were wondering how long how long the Simpsons Land will stay there. Another question.
We'll get into it, but that's
by the way, I gotta say this. Jemmy is sat. She didn't choose the empty chair. She chose to sit next to me, Jemmy.
Next to Uncle Mitch. How about that?
But I gotta say this. When I first came in, and Emma will attest to this. She left the room, but she will attest to this. Jemmy was going nuts. She was very happy to see me when I first came in.
She's so excited to be back at work today.
Yeah.
She was very excited to see me when
I told her we were going to work today, she got like squeaky and wiggly at home, like she knew what it meant.
Oh my God.
That's so cute.
I love that she was happy to see me. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, she's a little angel. She's a star.
On the Minions Land thing, I think it is they're close to a themed land. Like you walk down like the French street, which that fits because the Illumination's based in France.
Sure.
And then it's, you got Gru's house right there, and that takes you into the Minion Fun Land.
They have that splash park that is the theme park from the first movie. Maybe it's in the other movies.
I also love that I appreciate that you guys got us back on. We were just talking about a good dog, and you got us back on topic. The host of the show being like, good dog, cute, came in happy. And then you were like, anyways.
Look, these guys are pros. This is the thing. I always feel so intimidated when I guest on Talking Simpsons, and Mitch, I know you have the same sort of feeling because y'all are so prepped and you're such professionals that I always make me feel like an amateur. So it is there is a little bit of intimidation factor. I feel like with
I don't think I've ever prepped once. I mean that throughout my entire life. I don't think I've prepped.
Well, thank you very much. You guys are you guys are great. We loved having you on. You guys knew if you weren't prepped for the shows, you always instantly, as we say, like, oh, this is like this episode, or this reference is from this old TV show. You guys are really quick to just hop on it, and you know what you're talking about.
God bless you for saying that. Can we, because y'all are so great at talking about animation generally, since we talked about Illumination, which it feels like is Universal's big, animated set of IP, where do you stand on the Illumination films? I know they're very much oriented towards kids.
Well, Henry and I are big Illumination haters, and we've given many of their movies a chance.
Right.
We've podcasted about quite a few of them, and they just don't hit. They just make the easiest choices. I respect some of the artistry going on, but I feel like they are going for the broadest possible audience, and it works for them because they're incredibly popular and successful. So they're really not for me, and that's cool, but I detest the Super Mario Brothers movie, and I know Henry does as well.
Yeah, no, it really, but though we weren't even the biggest haters on the episode we did the review of it for either.
Yeah, I guess we thought it was mid, but we didn't think it was the worst thing we'd ever seen.
That's generally how I feel about Illumination. Is I don't like. I've seen other ones that like bother me more. I think they have a good. Their best comedic abilities are at like things without dialogue. Though when you mentioned when you mentioned that Will Ferrell character in the new one, like that's one of the things that bothers me the most about Illumination is that they are so behind on like hip casting. Like it's Pixar. It feels like they get people who were a hip, cool comedy person, like at least 5 years ago when they were doing casting. But meanwhile, it's like, Will Ferrell, let's have him. It's like 2024. Well, I'm sure he is funny in it, but he's 60. He's like, it's a long time to put him in.
I was thinking of that when I saw Barbie.
Yeah.
They definitely will make the most obvious choice a lot of times. I will say the thing that I totally agree with is you're right that and this is the genius of the Minions, is that like when they're freed from dialogue, when they're just doing classic like silent film, like vaudeville gags, basically, the artistry at Illumination, that they're really good at animating all that. So like that's the stuff that I think works. And honestly, I think that's the stuff, you're right, that resonates with a global audience.
Yeah, I think the issue is the movies are just kind of mediocre, and you can enjoy a good movie, you can enjoy a bad movie. If a movie is simply just there and middling, I don't know what to do with it. It just isn't doing anything for me on any level, really.
Got it.
I don't love the movies.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah, I get it.
But I like that you love them.
I'm of course furious at all of this, but
I've liked some of them. By the way, I was going through notes. By the way, I'm not just texting. I go through my notes. I am prepped sometimes. A lot of my notes are like parody songs about Windows or whatever, but still.
Crash through my window.
No, Mitch, by the way, that thing you mentioned before about the fat shaming of Universal, like I felt it too. I've lost a little weight in the last year, which has been nice. But when I went to Universal on this trip with Bob and his wife Nina, I was pointing out to him the shame seats of like, there's the test seat for Harry Potter that shames fatties who can't ride the ride.
Yeah, it's a public display.
It is. It's like a public
bummer.
execution. You got to go and fucking sit in the seat, and then everyone sees the red light.
You're paying hundreds of dollars. You're with your friends and family, and then you have to be like embarrassed in front of everybody because of your body size.
I sat in that seat, and Jack Allison pushed it so it did get to the greens.
Yeah,
and then I got into the ride, and I literally, like I said, I took the elevator down with like 7 people, and I was like, oh, this doesn't make me feel as bad because there's a lot of people getting off the ride, but.
Right.
The Mario Kart one, I heard that I heard some people don't get on and some other people don't. But I was like, I don't even want to go and sit in the test seat. I'm not going down there. I don't feel like I'm not going to go and do it. We didn't have time to do it really.
We didn't, but I will say, like, even in the dining areas, we were dealing with some snug booths.
In Krusty Burger, a slim booth in Krusty Burger. Come on now.
Well, I want to talk more Universal, but I do want to talk about LA generally because.
And by the way, you thought those booths were.
I totally agree. They were snug. They were tight for me. I want to ask about your LA trip. Did you have any great?
Pretty fucking.
I'm a fat piece of shit. What do you want from me?
That's what I was trying to say.
This XL shirt is skin tight. So what? Let's. What did you get down to eating when you were down here in LA?
Oh well, we went to Tam O'Shanter. That was the big one for me.
Oh wow,
I love it.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
That was. It was good though. I am on a beefless diet right now. I have gout issues if I eat. So I didn't have the prime rib though. It looked delicious on someone else's plate. But I had like their Thanksgiving dinner there, and it was also very good. But mainly, I enjoyed the ambiance of it, even though it was like bar trivia night at Tam O'Shanter, which seemed low rent for Tam O'Shanter.
Yeah, I'm surprised they have that. Is your diet, just to go on tangent on that real quick? Is it just like no red meat? Are there any other prohibitions?
Red meat is pretty much the only thing I stay away from. I don't. There's other things like shellfish or whatever doesn't really like give me a problem. Not that I eat that much, but red meat is just gone from my diet. Which is why I did not eat a Krusty Burger on this, but the replacement. But that's for later. Yeah.
Did you miss out on eating a Krusty Burger?
But there is a veggie alternative they have, which is based on something from the show. Bob, what did you think of the Tam?
It was all right. I also don't eat red meat because I'm a pescatarian, so I do fish and dairy. But I had fish and chips, and they were fine. They were reasonably priced. My wife had the prime rib, and she thought it was some of the best she's had in her life.
Wow!
So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, as like animation fans and scholars, the Tam O'Shanter obviously has a lot of attachment to Disney and Walt Disney himself. Like, did you take any of that in? The atmosphere?
Oh yeah, we sat right by the haunted booth.
Oh wow,
where Walt Disney hung out, just directly across from it.
And it was great taking pictures of all of like the old art they had of like wishing the Tam O'Shanter a great 40th anniversary or whatever, and like all the Mickeys seated at it. Like, yeah, that was a big part of it. We also went because our Airbnb was like literally like 4 blocks from it. We went straight to it. So we're like, well, we got to just go there. We're so close by. It was not part of our plan.
You were near a Sizzler and a good Costco.
You're in a great little spot there. That Atwater, the beginning of Atwater Village there.
Yeah, I like that Costco.
It is a good Costco.
It's so far from where I live, but I've been to that Costco before.
Outdoor, they got the snack bar outdoors.
Yeah, I like that. It's not that doesn't make sense in all climates, but I like when they have it in the outdoors out here.
Yeah, which means if you're not a Costco member, can you still just get the food?
No, you can't. You used to be able to, but no, they card check now.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we skipped going to, or I consider going to Griffith Park, but I instead made the time for the Tam O'Shanter instead. But
good choice.
Yeah, I think you made the right choice. Yeah. I mean, honestly, whatever.
You say it's a hill. Hey, a tree. How about that?
Yeah, it's just fun. It's a fucking break. Yeah. I mean, also beautiful.
Yeah.
But come on, it's a fucking tree. You're gonna say you missed a tree or two. An old abandoned zoo. Isn't that what is up there?
Yeah.
And it's actually a full zoo.
Okay. There's something.
Yeah.
And me and Bob have been to LA several times before, both in our pre-podcasting life and as podcasters. And definitely we always make time, and we did it this time too, to go to Little Tokyo. Like, we really love eating in that area.
That's fantastic.
Especially this I believe it's Hiroshima style okonomiyaki, which is really good. Like, it's like a savory noodle, like cooked noodle thing. The way if you do it Hiroshima style, it's called, what was it? Chi Chinkurin, I think was the name of the place.
I think so.
Yeah,
really
y'all were kind enough to invite me out, and I think we all kind of decided it wasn't wise, and that ended up being prudent because the next day I tested positive for COVID. But I was looking at the menu. I wish I could have joined y'all. It looked great. Little Tokyo's and there's also the Sawtelle neighborhood, which also has a bunch of great
Daikakuya right there. I love.
Great Japanese food in the city. Yeah. But I imagine both y'all have access to a lot of that where you live respectively as well.
Yeah, it's there's no okonomiyaki restaurants in Vancouver as far as I know. So that's why we definitely headed in that direction in terms of dinner choices in LA. So there are a few things that I can't get here, despite there's a Japanese population here, there's a large Asian population here. So there's so many different types of people, so many different types of foods, but still there's ramen here, but there's weirdly enough not a ramen restaurant on our street. I think it's a huge just a huge missing puzzle piece in my neighborhood. I'm hoping it's filled in pretty soon.
By the way, you guys missed Disney's like early shitty attempt at Disney. The Griffith Park is basically that, right?
I don't know the LA history specifically.
I just realized too that there's choo-choos up in those hills.
Yeah. Wait, are you saying they tried to privatize Griffith Park at a certain point?
I thought like his first attempt at a kind of at like the train and stuff there was in Griffith Park.
Okay. I don't know the specific history.
But there's also choo-choos there. So I'm surprised that you don't like it even more.
No, he was like that was the whole thing was the land was gifted to the public. It wasn't like a privatized.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that guy was also kind of a piece of shit.
Who, Disney or
Griffith? Well, both of them.
Yeah.
They're all bad.
And one other place I wanted to shout out that I enjoyed on my usually most of my LA trips. I stay in the Burbank area sometimes, and I've been to a brunch place called BB's that I really enjoyed.
Okay.
It's I've met up with some pals there, though. I keep hearing that like you'll find Jay Leno there sometimes, but I've been on Leno watch every time, and I've never spotted him there.
Yeah, you're hoping like a vintage fire truck will pull up. But
hey, time to get a little omelet in me. Hey, how you doing, BB-8? I assume BB-8 runs the
BB-8
diner.
Is he one of the servers?
He rolls.
Will you recognize his new face, Henry?
Oh, that's true. He could have been there in disguise, and I wouldn't have known it.
He's like Darkman now.
BB-8, I gotta ask you. I love Koth. Do you mind if I ride on top of you for a minute? Wee! He's riding around BB-8.
BB-8, my understanding is you got inspired by the diner from episode 2. Is that correct? When Obi-Wan goes in Attack of the Clones? What's that guy's name? Dexter's Diner? Is that what it's called?
That's right, Jay. Kevin's there, too.
Yeah, Kevin came with you. We rode over here in a Ford Model T. Okay,
You know what? Kevin might do a set at the Baked Potato in a nearby spot.
He's an awesome jazz guitarist. He's an incredible musician.
Kevin's Country. We're fans of Kevin's Country, the song. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Spoon Man. You know, managing finances can feel complicated and time-consuming, right? But it doesn't have to be. Rocket Money simplifies everything, making it so easy to see exactly what's happening with your finances, track your spending, and give you full control of all of it right from your phone. Wow, the same place where you listen to the Doughboys podcast, you can now track your spending. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For any you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with a few taps. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all of your accounts. Easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Get alerts if bills increase in price. Hey, we might make that Doughboys double go up a couple bucks. And you'll get an alert. There's unusual spending activity, you'll get an alert for that. Or if you're close to going over budget, the new goals feature automatically saves money for you without you having to think about it. Whether your goal is to pay off credit card debt, put away money for a house, or just build your savings, Rocket Money makes it easy. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate to lower your bills for you, sometimes by up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service on top of all of that. Wow. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/doughboys. That's rocketmoney.com/doughboys. rocketmoney.com/doughboys. And then when you're there, put in Doughboys and cancel that subscription. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Spoon Man. Now, you know me. I'm a big bearded fellow. But you know what's a pain? Going to the store, getting some expensive razor, trimming up this beard, and then the quality of the razor stinks. I get nicks and cuts. I look like a dang fool. Well, you know what? Whether you're going smooth shaven or maintaining a beard, Dollar Shave Club offers shave and grooming products that are always high quality but never overpriced. Wow. Hey, do you have a beard like me? Well, guess what? Dollar Shave Club has you covered. They got the double header electric trimmer. Divide and conquer. Are you trimming your beard and balls with the same trimmer? Gross. The double header electric trimmer has 2 interchangeable heads, one for beard, one for balls. This waterproof battery operated trimmer comes with 3 different guard lengths so you can stop being gross. Stop being gross. If I had one message for our listeners, it's stop being gross. Style Detailer Precision Trimmer. For every hairy little detail, keep rogue facial hairs at bay with a tool that's whole job is to pay attention to detail with a 360-degree rotary head for nose and ear hair and a detailer head for brows, sideburns, cheeks, and neckline. Weird hairs don't stand a chance against this multitasking powerhouse. In addition to their amazing shave products, DSC also offers a whole personal care line for dudes, such as ball spray, wow, butt wipes, hell yeah, and deodorant. The best part, Dollar Shave Club products are now available everywhere, so you can order from their website, Amazon, or get them at your favorite retailer near you. But don't take our word for it. Try for yourself. You can visit their site right now for 20% off, $20 or more, and get your products delivered right to your door. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/doughboys and use promo code doughboys for 20% off, $20 or more. Wow, do it.
Okay, let's get into Universal.
Right near the Baked Potato, Universal.
Mitch, wow.
It's true.
You are correct.
It's right near Universal.
Baked Potato, where you can see live jazz, is right near Universal.
A famous where you can get baked potato dinners. This is true.
There are fewer and fewer venues with live jazz music specifically, so it's nice that place is still hanging in there.
If you guys, when you're back next time, Baked Potato, a great time. We drove to
just a quick tangent, and this is just sort of like speaks to like, you know, the kind of rot of our culture. I was talking to it. I went and saw some live jazz. And I was talking to the pianist afterwards, and I was like, he was awesome. And I just talked to him a little bit.
Was
and I was
he
like,
a 3-inch pianist or no?
He's like a 10-inch pianist.
Oh
He's
shit!
like a Milton Berle. Pulls out enough to win. I talked to this guy a little bit, and I was like, hey man, you're great. Like, where do you play around town? He's like, honestly, most of my gigs are at nursing homes.
Oh my
I was
god!
like, oh yeah, well that's.
Oh.
But it's just like it's good that you're getting paid, but it's just like also like that you have to like this original American art form that now what you're going around and basically playing it to people who are in like assisted living because that's the only generation that still appreciates it.
Man,
yeah.
Can you imagine us doing live podcasts for our guests on assisted living? Probably, knowing our listeners, probably in a couple of years, I'm sure.
The Milton Berle bit there I just heard reminded me I made a note of like if Big Dong talk comes up on old celebrities, are you aware of the F Troop star Forrest Tucker and his monster as well?
No,
but
please tell us the tale.
You had my interest and now you have my attention.
Yeah.
Forget Universal monsters. Let's talk about pant monsters.
This is one of these things that comes up in our deep podcast research for Simpsons, where on a commentary they joke about Forrest Tucker having a big penis, and we look into it. And yes, that him and Milton Berle disagreed over who had the biggest one. That it was apparently, and there's videos of like the guy who played the manager of the Partridge Family on the Partridge Family saying like, "Oh yeah, he whipped it out at me. It was crazy. Like it was nuts."
Wow! Oh my god!
The F Troop guy.
Forrest Tucker of the F Troop. Look it up. It's apparently.
Oh, he's going to be binging that later tonight. I mean, and I'll be Googling it. I mean, we're gonna text about this for sure.
More like D Troop. What's the angle there?
Oh, that's a good one. Hog Troop. I don't know.
Hog Troop. Maybe it's Hog Troop. Is that it?
H
I think
Troop.
it's H Troop for Hog.
Yeah.
You know, they shoot a cannon off at the start
out.
of every F Troop opening, and the cannon connect.
Yeah, maybe that's his hog. That could be a thing.
This is great news for us.
This is great. Henry, this is great.
This is great.
You've given us a tremendous gift.
Yes.
We've been running with Forrest Tucker of F Troop for another
I was thinking
year.
it, and I'm glad Henry said it.
Well, thank you both.
I'm just sad to know that I'll never get into F Troop now. We're more like the Goof Troop.
Yeah. Forrest can't Tucker. Couldn't tuck that thing away.
Anyway, Wags and I drove. We did a carpool together.
We carpooled together. I met you over. You had an appointment. I met you afterwards.
I had a dermatologist appointment, which, by the way, went back. You can tell from my arm.
Yeah, Mitch is for audio listeners. Mitch has a bunch of attempted needle pokes in both of his forearms.
They were trying to get a vein. I got.
Wouldn't have trouble getting a vein on Forrest Tucker of F Troop. Look right in that main vein.
I fear I've broken the podcast with that information now. I fear
this blood is very white. I just looked at our guest. Our guest looked disgusted.
Justifiably.
I got stuck like probably 7 or 8 times where they were trying to find a vein, and they were in there, and they were like moving the needle around trying to find a vein, and they're like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then they try to get it out of my hand. They're great, by the way. The staff is great.
Yeah.
But they try to get it out of my hand eventually, and the woman who usually takes my blood wasn't there. But I was like, it's usually right in the middle here. But they went on both arms. There's this bruise here from one of the attempts, and then they finally got it. And I had I told you the name of it, a venal. What was the response? I had like a venal something. Venal venous?
I don't remember.
Venal venous.
That sounds right. You may have texted it to me,
but I think I did text it to you. But I basically they were drawing blood, and they're like, "You okay?" I was like, "I think I'm gonna throw up." And then I got lightheaded, and they had to like put me backwards, and I didn't pass out ever, but they put ice packs on me, and I think it was because of the attempts or whatever. I don't know why. I never had a reaction to getting blood like that.
Yeah.
But it was an hour. From the time that they first tried to get blood till when they were getting it, it was a full hour.
That's awful.
And then I went and picked you up. I got my head needled. I went and picked you up, and neither of us were in the mood to go to Universal at that point.
Yeah, I think we would I would say the crank factor was maybe a little bit high for both of us, just because it was.
And we're not talking Statham crank. We're talking
no
Weiger and Mitch.
No, we're talking high voltage sort of situation. So we had but I will say once we landed,
yes.
Even though it was a warm day, even though we were maybe a little bit cranky,
it was like almost 90 degrees.
Yeah, but we bought some sunblock there, bought some overpriced sunblock from the gift shop.
We got priority parking.
We got priority parking.
Right off the top.
We shelled out for priority parking.
Mm-hmm.
I will say once we settled in, I started to have a fun time.
Me too. Yeah. I did, and a part of that is, I'll say it. We went to Krusty Burger, and then we had a friend join us.
Yes.
Which maybe we'll get to. Should we just say it?
I wonder if our listeners can guess who that was. Who might have showed up at Universal?
Who can guess who would show up at Universal?
Who can guess?
Who has a pass to get into Universal for free, first of all. And doesn't have to pay for parking. So just to know,
and maybe likes having a free meal. Like who could? Like I'm just like who could potentially fits that template.
So when you mark off the thing of having to pay for parking, and getting into the park, so those are
taken care of,
and then just gets a free meal. Who would show up for that?
Who might do that?
Can you guys guess?
Well, you know what this is going to be. We got this. We got Talking Simpsons on here. This should be like a Who Shot Mr. Burns style mystery, and we can
by the way, Henry corrected you on.
Oh my, yeah. Well, I got schooled on some trivia. We should get into that here, but we should let our guests can guess hashtag Universal Mystery Guest.
Yeah, okay.
And let us know who you think might have showed up to accompany the Doughboys.
Let me just say that this guest, when he came, Wags and I agreed when we got in the car afterwards that he went to town on the fried chicken at Cletus's Chicken Shack.
Did he grab a piece of chicken before sitting down? Yeah,
yes.
I'd say, yeah.
Did he eat one of Wags' pieces of chicken? Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Did he eat one of the other biscuits I ate half a biscuit, and then did he eat a whole biscuit? Yes, he did. He did.
Boy. Just like in 1995, I'm going to just have to guess it's Mr. Smithers, right?
That's a good guess. Very strong guess.
Maybe it was some sort of starving dog you guys know.
Henry, I want to get, because this is something that came up on the podcast a while ago, but you corrected me on it. But this is a thing that's been shouted out on social media a number of times, and I was repeating it. There were Vegas odds for Who Shot Mr. Burns back in 1995. I believe that was the correct year. But that was actually like part of a publicity stunt. It was not a real thing the odds makers had put out there.
Yeah, me and Bob have gone over this a number of times, but yeah, it gets shared around. We're hardly the first people to pedantically point it out. And one thing I like about having an access to texting people on podcasts I listen to is I don't have to like go on a message board to complain and correct them. I can just text them directly. But yeah, no, it was not real Vegas odds. It spreads around every once in a while, but it was part of a promotional campaign, a specific promotional special for Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 2.
You fucked up.
Yeah, I fucked up.
No, I mean Bob's. Me and Bob have gone over it a couple times. It's Springfield's Most Wanted.
I think it was hosted by John Walsh, the host of America's Most Wanted.
Yes. Yeah. You sent a YouTube. Henry, you sent a YouTube link. I believe that was the whole special.
Of the special, yeah.
Yeah, it's the special is really interesting. Oh man, I watched it the night of because it aired at 7:30 right before the debut of Part 2, and it's going over all of the potential suspects, and they get John Walsh to do it, and they have a ton of different things. It's entirely done. If you look at the credits, Gracie Films, Simpsons writers not involved. It is entirely the Fox PR marketing campaign, though they did get occasional, like Wiggum does say new lines in there, so they must have gotten some of the actors for stuff, but and they go to the Mirage, and they have one of the Vegas odds makers there, and up on their sports bet board, they have put up all of the suspects and what the odds are, but it's entirely fake. It was just for that shot with the Vegas odd maker at the Mirage.
Wow. And then this
guy lives on.
And then you also perpetuated the myth. So
yeah, I know that was part of the problem.
I know.
What's the phrase? What somebody will know this. Like the lie gets around the world faster than the time it takes, whatever, the truth.
For the truth, get out of bed, right?
Get out of bed, yeah, something like that, yeah.
I'd never heard that in my life.
Yeah.
Well, if our surprise guest, if he would have a promotional tie-in, it would be the movie Twisters. We said for the way that he twisted into the restaurant and ate up all the food, and then seemed to want to leave basically afterwards. At the end, I had a piece of fried chicken left, and I was like, I took just a bite of it, and I was like, here, and I tried to give it to Wags. And then the mystery guest grabbed it and almost started to eat it. And I was like, that was for Wags, mystery guest. And I'm sure people still can't understand who this is. They probably have no
figure
clue.
it out. People figure out who this suspect or suspect is. Maybe a little clue. Hashtag universal mystery guest.
Yeah.
This mystery guest sounds like Homer in breaking into Ned Flanders' window and interrupting the dinner and grabbing the chicken leg right then.
It was similar. It was similar energy.
We were happy to have him.
We were happy to have him. We're happy to have y'all. So before we get into Krusty Burger specifically, Universal. It's Henry. It particularly sounds like you're more of a Disney guy, but are you both like a kind of Universal, fans to some degree?
Oh, I love Universal. It was the first park I went to in Orlando as a kid, and I was wonderfully advertised to effectively by Nickelodeon growing up to say, like, you got to go to Nick Studios at Universal Studios Florida. Like every time I was like, yes, Mom, didn't you hear? They said it. We got to go. Like, so I have a lot of affection for
I'm merely okay with it. So far, I've gone every 6 years for work, and I think that's a good schedule for me in terms of Universal visits.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I kind of agree with that. We for $30 more, we got the pass where we can go back through April.
Yeah.
Which we were like, oh, maybe we'll go and do another thing there. So it was worth getting. But I had not been in a long time, and I didn't really care to be in there, honestly. I used to like it quite a bit, but it was so crowded yesterday. It was, first of all, so hot.
It was super crowded. We're going in the midst of summer. I used to go to Universal with some frequency. I'm from Southern California, a lifelong SoCal surfer dude.
How many people used to do like the horror nights and stuff?
People used to do that. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, even as a kid, I remember I was sharing some memories of like seeing like the Incredible Shrinking Woman on the tour, the Universal tram tour, and then also like they had a Conan the Barbarian. Or what? Maybe I think it was whatever. It was like the Conan the Destroyer stunt show they had there back in the day. That was like a thing I went to like as like a summer camp field trip, So I've been going over the years, and certainly remember when Universal Simpsons Land, aka Springfield, opened in 2008. This was the aftermath of the Simpsons movie in 2007.
I was working there.
You were
what?
What?
At the Simpsons.
You worked at the Simpsons?
I worked at the Simpsons.
Wow, okay.
I was working there when the ride was happening.
That's right. The ride happened. We talked about Selman about it, and it replaced the Back to the Future ride and the neighboring sort of environment. It has a human scale recreation of Springfield.
Brown's fried chicken.
Doc Brown's fried chicken was replaced by Cletus's Chicken Shack, but it is like it has things like the Quickie Mart, the nuclear power plant, the Android Dungeon comic shop, as well as a bunch of dining options that are all themed to The Simpsons. Some are pulled directly from the show. Some, I believe, are invented. Krusty Burger, Moe's Tavern, Cletus's Chicken Shack. That'll be the bulk of our discussion today.
Those are the big three.
But also Lard Lad Donuts, Luigi's Pizza, Phineas Q Butterfat's Ice Cream Parlor, which is in the show, Duff Brewery Beer Garden, and then Bumblebee Man's Taco Truck, which Bumblebee Man is real, but I believe the Taco Truck is created for the park, correct? And also Suds McDuff's Hot Dogs.
Wait, what did you say? Bumblebee Man is real?
Yeah, he's real.
Yeah, well, but he doesn't, to my memory, unless they did it in a season 27 one I missed, I don't believe he has a taco truck
I don't think so.
in the show. And same, Suds McDuff is the alter ego of Santa's Little Helper when he gets hired by the Duff beer company, but he doesn't run a hot dog stand in the episode.
Right. So those two at least are just like, they take elements of the show, but they kind of invent something.
Also, that side where the restaurants are, I think they did just map Simpsons stuff on. I mean, they did with Cletus's Chicken Shack anyway.
Sure, yeah.
They moved the location though. Cletus's Chicken Shack, the Doc Brown's fried chicken was the place that back in the day where people were like, Doc Brown's fried chicken's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's the spot.
That's the spot. That's where you would go, and it was kind of in a weird location, and it was like, ooh, this is pretty good for theme park food. And then Krusty Burger was new, and then the stuff across the way, there was kind of like a shitty Italian place where Luigi's is, I believe.
Yeah, it makes sense that they kind of just map stuff all over it. I mean, that's just but I think it's really all effectively themed. I mean, I think the walking around Springfield, the ride we'll talk about a little bit, but the park itself, I feel like is still just like really, really effectively done.
They did a good job. We didn't go on the ride yesterday. You guys went on the ride, correct?
I'm too old for it now. It hurts my back.
The last time we went on the ride, which was a couple of years ago, it did actually mess up my back quite a bit. But I've been on it. I felt like enough where we're kind of like, let's just do something else.
It seems dated now already, which is crazy. That it is 16 years old, I guess, at this point, which is wild.
The big choice is because it actually uses like 3D renderings of the characters and the environments, as opposed to kind of like the 2D as 3D or a 2.5D, however you want to characterize it, where like a lot of stuff, like, kind of a more of a Futurama style of everything looks like 2D, but we're just moving through a 3D environment. Like that was the approach, and that's what I think makes it feel pretty dated.
They just need to
it's like
make
a PlayStation 2 game,
brighter or something too. It's like kind of dimly lit, the screen. That's always my complaint about it.
Yeah, we were talking about Universal earlier and how much we like it. My issue is I go to theme parks for rides. I love rides.
Yeah.
And at Universal, they're all pretty bad. And I think it's because my adult inner ear now cannot handle the look at a screen and get jostled around ride.
Right.
I got sick after Transformers. I got sick after Simpsons, the Minions, and one other screen ride that I can't remember. I like the Mummy ride, but it lasts about 45 seconds. It's a real ride where there's no screen in front of you, but that's kind of it in terms of traditional rides at Universal.
It's a very quick ride, the Mummy ride,
and you're right.
45 seconds is pretty long, though. I think. But yeah, it's you're in and out of there quickly, and then they're building a Fast and Furious ride in 2026, kind of like chaotically in the middle of the park, which also just doesn't help things right now. But you're right. As far as thrill rides, there's not a lot.
I mean, the Simpsons ride, I like it within the parameters of what it is because they didn't build a new ride system. Like they took the 1991 Back to the Future ride and then put the Simpsons on top of it. They updated some of the machinery, but it still is functionally the same. And I think it would have just been so much more expensive to do 2D than 3D. I get why they worked with Blur Studios and just made a 3D thing. But I do love the line, not just because it's showing me clips all of the time of my favorite scenes. And I look at people around me. I'm like, why aren't you all watching this scene from Itchy and Scratchy Land right now? What the hell is wrong with you? I think.
No, the line is great, and you are correct that the clips, which is another thing that's in the restaurants as well, is just like a package of clips that is all really, really well done and really well curated.
I mean, I'm with you, and I'm like, look at this history here on the screens, these great video clips. But Nick and I were pointing out that when we were in Krusty Burger, we heard the same clips over like I'd say like 17 times.
We were in there for a while, and I think it's the kind of thing where if you worked there, I can't imagine how like numb your mind must be to hearing the same clip package on a loop throughout an 8-hour shift.
Yes, yeah,
the loops
crazy.
The loops aren't long enough. They can't show things that are too gross to you from the show. And also, there's no Harry Shearer voice characters present in the clips, so that also limits what they can pull from. So, I don't think they're adding.
He put his foot down for that. Is that what happened?
No, they said scheduling conflicts. I think has been the official thing said by people, but
he was too busy to approve existing Simpsons clips, I guess. But if you look. Outside of Scratchy, there is no real Harry Shearer character presence, and you don't hear him in line. And of course, he's very protective about the work he's done, and he enjoys royalties and whatever's owed to him, and that's fine. But we all know he's especially cranky about The Simpsons. That's not any secret. He is so dismissive about it when he talks about it during any interview.
When me and Bob went just the last month, we were both on Shearer watch. I was like, okay, are there really no scenes on these clip packages where a Harry Shearer character talks? And we really couldn't find one. Not even. And then like, okay, does a silent one appear? Like on the ride, it's Kang and Kodos. It's not just Kodos, which is Dan Castellaneta's character. So visually you will see like it, but doesn't it feel weird to be at a Simpsons land where you don't hear like Kent Brockman or Seymour Skinner or Ned Flanders?
No Skinner, no Burns, no Flanders. So many important characters aren't there. And only when you're reminded of that, you think, oh, right, there's something missing here.
Yeah, it is odd.
That's crazy. And then also we were saying the other thing too is that they've kind of Apu is now they've kind of sunset. They've kind
there are some Apu clips.
There's Apu clip,
and there's still a quickie part.
But we were saying that it's that thing of now he's no longer in the show, but he is in the theme park.
Right.
But yeah, no, it is. I did not notice that with Harry, and I believe it because I worked there for a little while. I believe that.
Oh wow.
I was there when they were doing the contract negotiations. Wags. Yeah. I saw Harry. I saw Harry give him hell, which in a way is a good thing.
There's an aspect of that, which is stand up for yourself and get paid. But also, he does have a reputation as a grumpy man.
He's a grumpus. Always nice to me,
I don't want to sound like somebody who like thinks Harry Shearer shouldn't demand a big raise from Fox. Like, he doesn't seem like the happiest guy.
No, he's kind of sad or upset rather that this is what he'll be remembered for and not Le Show or something other than that.
And you're like, well, come on, the show was good. Simpsons was very, very
exactly,
good. Yeah. And you made a great point about
we're going to be remembered for Doughboys. That's not good. I would much rather be remembered for The Simpsons.
God.
Host of Doughboys?
We were in The Simpsons.
That's
Remember, you made fun of how it was animated at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as Nina's art, but it was cool.
It was cool as hell.
Yeah, it was cool.
God damn it. It is a funny thing with the theme park where we were pointing it out. I was like, oh, it's like they got to make fun of it for being like cheap and gross, but I guess they can't go too far. But then also at the same time, it is kind of cheap and not great food. You know what I mean? It's that funny combination of things.
To get into the food. So let's start with Krusty Burger. First off, I will say is
this an official review of Krusty Burger?
I think this is the Krusty Burger episode, but I think we'll talk about the other Simpsons.
Which means it's good for us. We can go back and say Doughboys, like Cletus's Chicken Shack. We need more.
We have plenty. No, we can talk about all of it, and we can factor it all to our fork scores. It will certainly be the case with me, but I think we'll probably have this be like the Krusty Burger episode.
It's the Krusty Burger episode.
I think so. I think that makes the most sense in terms of titling it.
Sure.
Yeah. But whatever. That's it's we're talking about all of it. I will say the show is very good. The theming is very good. I do think the Krusty Burger exterior and interior is a really good recreation. I'm like happy to be standing in there.
Oh, I mean, I love that giant Krusty head. Like that is not just at the entrance, but in Krusty Burger. And to know when they opened the Simpsons ride, like it wasn't that was 2008, and it was 5 years later in 2013 where they open up Springfield and have all of this stuff. And I think it was a slow rollout even, but like to think of it just the ride and no Springfield, like the Simpsons ride gets boosted by being surrounded by Springfield. Like I love walking through Springfield.
Yeah.
I love it there too. You know, that's with the Simpsons premiere party, which I've been to quite a few times.
Why would you be going there?
I worked there.
Wow. How about that?
You piece of shit. And you've been to the Simpsons premiere as well.
That's right. It was your guest. How'd you get in?
I worked there.
Wow.
Which once they had the ride, they started to do. That's where they had the premieres, and they like the Simpsons staff, the huge staff, Phil Roman, the people who animated you that you didn't like. All those people were there for the premiere party, and when I would go on those nights, and you could go on the ride, and you could do all these stuff free, and it was great. Sure. It was great, and I do think that the theming of the park is great. I think they did a great job. Matt Warburton wrote a lot of the scripts and dialogue, the stuff that you hear in the park. He did a great job. I think that the land is very well done. I will say this: we did the Krusty Burger menu. We were like, some of this stuff is like the Krusty Burger is great. And then the Clogger, is that the other one? And that is from the show, right? Or
I'll run down everything. I have the menu up here. There's the Krusty Burger, the Clogger Burger, the Mother Nature Burger, which is the vegan alternative, which is pulled from the show. The Rib Witch is pulled from the show. Sideshow Bob Footlong, I'm not sure if that's that's just Sideshow Bob is what's pulled from the show.
But also, Sideshow Bob trying to kill Krusty. Why does he have a dog named? What were you going to say?
Well, make it the Forrest Sideshow Bob has long.
Sorry.
No, Sideshow Bob does have long feet.
He does have long feet. Yeah, that's a great point. You know what? I retract it. He has long feet.
But Krusty would name it you know what I mean?
But it's a plot point. You're right. You were correct. It is a plot point that he has large feet, which is how they're able to identify him as the perpetrator of the Krusty frame job.
The footlong should be named after like the Maude killer footlong, because it's that like no footlongs is what Ned Flanders says to Maude. That's his last words to her.
It's a great pull.
It is, and then there's the thing we made fun of the most, which is the chicken Caesar salad.
No effort on the theming, and that's on a number of their different restaurants. They have that, I think, at Luigi's. They have it at Cletus's. I don't know why they don't just make that like Lisa. Like I guess Lisa's a vegetarian, but like associated with somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, my issue with the food is that they're just taking existing items and kind of stapling characters' names to them, and sometimes they don't even do that. And then now that Nintendo World or Super Nintendo World exists, they're doing the Japanese theme park thing of there's so much intentionality to every food item. Everything is shaped like something. Everything is themed after a character.
Right.
And when that experience is present in the same park, it just makes what's happening in the Simpsons part of the park seem naturally inferior.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. The Krusty Burger. So we got a Krusty Burger, which is a 3-pound burger patty with secret sauce, American cheese, lettuce, tomato, and pickles. A Sideshow Bob footlong, which is chili, cheese, and onions, along with a Nathan's Famous. We got they both come with fries, which are crinkle cut. We also got a Buzz Cola, which is a 0-calorie cherry flavored cola. There was some.
Well, we got a Buzz Cola Zero.
It's confusing because the copy says that the Buzz Cola is 0 calories, but also that on the menu they seem to be offering both a Buzz Cola and a Buzz Zero. We asked for a Buzz Zero and they were like, it's a Buzz Cola. Like every part of it, I think it's one thing.
It was so
one
confusing.
Drink. It was very confusing.
Yeah.
We also they have the Squishy, which is a thing from Quickie Mart, but it makes sense for it to be a Krusty Burger. They were out of the blue raspberry flavor, so we got the green apple, which I think is the closest to looking like it's the one from the show, as well as a wild cherry. That was our array of items. What did you all get from Krusty Burger?
Well, I got the Mother Nature Burger because don't eat red meat. And I always appreciate when there is a fake meat item at theme parks. And it's been growing over the past decade. So I definitely was happy that a Beyond Burger, I know what that tastes like. I know what it's going to be. And maybe somebody in the audience can let me know if I'm right or wrong about this. But when I went in 2018, I do remember there were some differences in the Simpsons food. This I remember being a garden burger or one of those patties that's a bunch of vegetables smashed together. I don't remember it being a Beyond Burger in 2018.
That may be an update. As someone who doesn't eat a red meat, do you like the Beyond and Impossibles of the world?
Oh yeah, I think I prefer Impossible, but it's so close it doesn't really matter. And I don't even eat them that much to begin with, but if I want a burger, it's nice to know that the vat-grown meat, whatever you want to call it, it is a perfectly fine replacement for red meat. I don't miss it, and I still get the burger experience. And I was happy with what I had there, but it's something I could also easily make at home.
Sure, yeah. And I was going to say that patty maybe was better than the Krusty Burger beef patty, which we were saying tasted
quality beef, yeah.
It tasted a lot like a school cafeteria burger is what we thought.
Yeah.
Well, remember, these burgers are so bad, Krusty doesn't want to swallow any of the juice.
That's
true.
He
will spit in every 50th burger. I think there were a lot of people getting the Mother Nature burger because I know Henry had to wait about 25 minutes for his.
Yeah, so I got the Mother Nature burger because I wasn't going to have the Krusty, and I really liked it too. I don't have Beyond Burgers or I have cut out burgers pretty much entirely in my diet, but I hadn't had a Beyond Burger in a long time. It was great, but yes, I got to forlornly watch Bob get his like very quickly. He was the last guy to get a Beyond Burger for 20 minutes. I was waiting along with like about a dozen other people, and they said like, it's going to be like 15 minutes. Do you want a substitution? And I was like, what do you want? I ordered the non-beef option. Are you trying to sell me a Krusty Burger? Like, there's a reason I picked the Mother Nature Burger.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Our food came out decently quick. We swapped roles because Cletus's, you got the food. Here I got the food.
Yeah.
And our food came out pretty quickly. There was that Buzz Cola mix-up, what I still don't understand.
Also, the Buzz Cola, what we're talking about, was totally flat.
It was completely
basically
flat.
undrinkable. I'm not sure.
Are you sure that it's not like Coke with the cherry syrup for Buzz Cola, and
It
then
might be,
Coke
yeah.
Zero with cherry?
Well, they're
syrup?
obviously, I think they are using a Coke product and adding grenadine. I think
Yes.
the Universal night I went there with you to the Simpsons party. I think I had asked, and that's what they said it was. It was just Coke with grenadine.
Why was I at the Simpsons party, by the way?
Beats me. Do you have a job there or something?
Oh yeah, I did. I was going to be surprised by it.
My other thing with the Mother Nature Burger, which was from like 2009's Coming to Homerica. That's where it's from. So it's a relatively recent. Well, when I'm at Disney, when I'm at Universal, I'm seeing these things. I'm like, wow, that 2009 recent Simpsons, and I have to remind myself this is 15 years old. Simpsons, like this ride footage is older than the Simpsons. Than Who Shot Mr. Burns was when the ride opened.
That's what we were like. They should call this the Lisa Burger, and then we found out that the Mother Nature Burger, which if it came out in 2009, they must have been planning that because the ride came out in 2008. So it's a thing that they were writing at the time, and then it came out later. But also the theming, now that I think about it, for Krusty Burger is like, it can't be Lisa's Mother Nature Burger because it's a crusty restaurant.
Yeah, I guess so.
But then also, why is it Sideshow Bob?
They're
et cetera.
overthinking it a little bit. All that said, I'm curious because my big issue with the Krusty Burger, the bun was really dry. There was a really low quality bun.
And that foot-long dog, the bun was even worse.
The bun was even worse than the foot-long dog. I think the guts of both of them were not bad.
No, not too bad. The burger tasted like a school cafeteria.
It did. It was like this is not like great food. But it was fine.
The fries were good. The dog.
I enjoyed the fries.
The dog, I think, was what made it enjoyable because it was, despite the bun, it was still pretty good.
Still a Nathan's hot dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was I was pretty happy with everything there.
And we liked our Slurpees.
I like the
squishies.
Yes, and you pointed out, and I agreed with you. The green apple is actually, I was like skeptical about it. I think it's actually the better flavor.
Yeah.
Wild cherry more just kind of tastes like a cherry icy, which I also
went with
enjoyed.
the wild cherry though afterwards. Oh, you just were enjoying.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. It's a fun cold drink.
I had the wild cherry one as well. I thought it was pretty all right. The Buzz Cola was fine to me, but also I do not drink any soda. I only did it to be like, well, it's a Simpsons branded cola. I should drink it. So my ability to rate this soda is poor.
Ours was rancid. I guess
it was really bad.
It was bad.
Bob, what'd you do drink wise?
I did the Duff beer. I can comment on the bun on my Mother Nature Burger, though, because there were no issues, although on the website, the bun has sesame seeds, and there were no sesame seeds on mine.
I noticed that, yeah.
It was unremarkable, but I think there was an arms race going on in terms of buns with the pretzel buns and the brioche buns. The buns were just getting far too big. I like a sensible bun, and so you can actually bite into the entire thing. So it was not remarkable in any way, but no issues there. But I did get the Duff beer, and I remember that when I went in 2018, it was Duff in quotes with a wink, but you were just getting Sam Adams. At this point, and I'm not sure when it was introduced, they started having proprietary Duff made by Carib Brewery. I believe they're a Florida brewery, and it is a pretty good amber lager. I used the Untapped beer rating app, and I gave it a 3.25 out of 5. Just serviceable. I don't know if I would get it outside of the park. I'm not a big fan of amber lagers, but I like that they actually have proprietary Duff. They're not just serving you Bud Light with a wink or Sam Adams with a wink, although I think they still have those very middle-of-the-road beers available in the park.
So, Bob, you're a bit of a beer baron yourself. What are some of your favorite brew dogs?
There's so many great breweries in Vancouver that I can't even nail down one particular beer.
Yeah.
But I'm drawing a blank, but places like Storm Brewing, Strange Fellows, Strathcona, Bomber. There's just so many. There's a really great beer scene happening in Vancouver, and I'm trying so many beers that I really can't single one out as a favorite.
Do you have a style you gravitate towards, like in terms of like an approach to brewing?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be a big IPA freak, and then I realized that they were getting me drunk way too quick, and
Right.
also they're very filling.
Yes.
So now it's more like, what is the season? What am I eating? If it's Italian food, I'll get a good Pilsner.
Yeah.
When it's the fall and the winter, I'm more in the mood for a darker beer. I really like dark lagers, sometimes dark IPAs, something with I guess a smokier taste to it, but it varies based on, the weather, what I'm eating, how I'm feeling, if I want something lighter, if I want something heavier.
Yeah, I really got into lagers and pilsners in recent years. I realized I don't need to get the hoppiest thing possible, which is what my taste used to be. So yeah, there's a lot of good versions.
Crazy
of
on
that.
IPAs,
Yeah.
but I'll say this: we also had a Duff.
We shared a Duff beer, which we got from Moe's Tavern.
Mhm.
So Moe's also, I think, a really cool recreation in there. They have like a TV that looks like the TV from The Simpsons that's playing clips. The bar looks like Moe's bar. The barkeeps are wearing a Moe-like uniform
with hairnets.
And they have a love tester in the corner. They have a big Barney.
All right.
And we ordered a Flaming Moe, and we also ordered a Duff, and we shared both of them.
The Duff, I agree with you. It's
not bad.
The Duff tastes pretty good. It's a nice, like, full-bodied beer. It was good. I enjoyed taking a sip of it. I was like, on a hot theme park day, this hits the spot. I enjoyed it. The Flaming Moe with its
our mystery guest did have some of the beer too.
Yeah,
he did grab.
He grabbed it without asking and drank some. And also tried to drink some of the Flaming Moe, which was empty.
Yeah.
But he still was trying to drink from it. The Flaming Moe, which has dry ice in the bottom of it, kind of an orange soda, and it bubbles, and it's
notably non-alcoholic. So for people who don't know The Simpsons, if any of our listeners don't know the Flaming Moe reference, it is like an alcoholic drink in the show. It's a sensation that boosts Moe's Tavern's profitability.
He stole from Homer. Correct?
That he stole from Homer. It was the Flaming Homer, but their version is just like orange soda with dry ice underneath to make it bubble and smoke.
There's maybe a couple more components to it, but we were saying, why don't they offer an alcohol version of it? I don't know.
If we can set aside 30 minutes now, me and Bob can go into all our feelings on this Flaming Moe, because I hate that it's an orange non-alcoholic drink. I hate it.
We talked about this so much. My ideal Moe environment, it should be like the Star Wars cantina at Disneyland, where it's a reservation only. You go in, there are alcoholic drinks that are featured on the show, like the actual Flaming Moe. And yeah, there's so much wrong with the Flaming Moe. This is the first time I had one because I was so offended by it when I saw it initially in 2018. But it's the wrong color. There's no flame. It's non-alcoholic. And I will say to all the listeners out there, if you want your wife or partner to take a picture of you sipping it, make sure she takes it quickly, because the carbon dioxide will asphyxiate you. There's so much coming off of that glass from the little Alka-Seltzer tablets. You will start to pass out.
What I hate is, and I wish I had an answer for this, why can't it just be purple? Fine, it's non-alcoholic. You don't want to sell a mixed drink.
Grape soda instead of orange soda is a very easy swap.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like Universal, Test Kitchen said, grape things don't sell as good as orange things, so we got to make it orange. But it's
orange is cheaper, maybe. The color is cheaper.
Sure. Yeah, that's it. No, it really doesn't work as a drink. It does not work as a representation of what you know from the show. And the other issue is, is it safe to consume dry ice?
I mean,
because it feels weird to be to be drinking anything that's near it.
We had a mound of whatever the dry ice stuff is at the bottom of it. I don't know exactly what that is at the bottom, but the cup also is just wasteful. If you don't keep the cup, if you just toss the cup, which we threw away, it's like, this feels like such a big wasteful thing. But there was
can it come in a proper mug or a glass? That would be. That's another thing.
In the cup, or was it in a separate part?
It's in
a separate part at the bottom, but it's
is it dry ice? I guess is the question. I don't know.
Stuff you're drinking, because this is saying that you absolutely cannot drink dry ice.
That it's not dry ice.
Well, the guy said it was dry ice, so maybe he was misinformed. Yeah.
Well, it is.
I think we have a class action lawsuit.
It looked more like little tablets, sort of like little Alka-Seltzers. I think that was what is causing the bubbling. But yeah, you're right. The cup is useless. It's two compartments, and you have to try very hard to unscrew that bottom compartment, because they don't want you swallowing those tablets. But you really can't use that cup unless you want to drink in a very inefficient way after you visit the park.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I did like drinking it under the Mount Lushmore drawings of the characters.
That is awesome. Again, the theming is really
including the late Larry, the barfly.
Yeah, R.I.P. Larry.
But also still in the weird way of like those aren't up at Moe's, but you got to do it.
No, they are. Mount Lushmore's up there.
Oh, it is up
Homer
there.
gets his caricature taken down from Mount Lushmore when he gets booted from the bar after
You're
pranking
right.
Moe.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's when Barney
before
lights his
pulling
shirt on
out-
fire. Yeah.
Yeah, and he throws out "It's Flamin' Men." Not no more. It ain't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I liked the jukebox had like Simpsons songs on it. It's out of order. It doesn't play anything, but there's so many great little details in there that again I'm like, oh, they did such a great job with all these details. Why can't the Flaming Moe be purple? At least at the Universal one though in Orlando. They do have a separate Flaming Moe stand with even the Flaming Moe neon sign that looks like the one from the episode.
Oh, that's cool.
But they have better things there that you should get, at least from the listing of it. They have, at Orlando, they sell other mocktails, one called Mount Swartzwelder Apple Drink, and then Groovy Grove Juice, which that's the stuff from Doin' in the Wind that gets everybody high. And then Mr. Teeny, which is a lemonade and pineapple juice drink.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that.
What's interesting about the Flamin' Moe being non-alcoholic could be one thing. It's just like, oh, well, they don't have a liquor license, but they do sell other like mixed drinks you can get there. Like they have like a full menu of, you know, like they have like a blue margarita, you know, and it's like I don't know, it's just confusing and again just like not a good representation of what's in the show. So we go from Moe's. Also I got Casanova in the love tester. Mitch got video of it.
I got love. We did the love tester. I got Love Lorne and Weiger got Casanova. It fucking sucks.
I believe I got Cold Fish. I think so.
was
Right
the
above
Casanova of the group.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. No, it was
Sure it's medically accurate.
It was embarrassing. And then also we noticed on the way out that this is the weirdest to tie into the cone. Remember the Conan?
Oh yeah, Phineas Q Butterfats has ice cream Conans. Is that a Conan O'Brien reference?
That was so strange.
Oh
it
yeah,
has to be.
Very strange.
I had the Mr. Teeny's Banana Delight from that establishment. I guess I don't get sundaes very often. I'm usually like a single flavor kind of guy, but I thought it was very good. And $8 for a sundae seems cheap for a theme park. I don't know what the price of sundaes is, but I was really delighted by that.
Wow.
We should have done it. We walked away. We didn't like the Conan theming, and we like Conan, but we were just like, this is weird, and we walked away.
It feels a little fourth wall-y.
I also got the Choco Vanilla Sundae with Butterfinger topping. I was like, oh, I should eat a Butterfinger related thing while in Simpsons land. That's
fitting, yeah.
Correct. And though also my favorite name of a thing they have there that I didn't order, which was called it's the Choco Strawberry Sundays at 8. Get it? It's called the Sundays at 8.
That's fun.
I like
that's fun as hell.
Before we leave Krusty Burger, I wanted to say the other thing I did get was the Ribwich, which as a barbecue pork rib coleslaw sandwich, I did like it. I thought it was pretty good. But if it is parodying the Ribwich from the show, it is a parody of the McRib. So to recreate it, it should be a McRib, but instead it's like loose pulled pork in barbecue. And so,
isn't there also a joke on it, the show, that it's like now without lettuce, right? It's like just like a
include that joke in there.
Include that, yeah.
There's a joke on the show where they're trying to guess what animal it's made out of, and Krusty says, "Think smaller, think more legs." So it's made out of bugs.
And I like they have the clogger there from the Simpsons movie. That's the thing that Krusty is selling when he's about to kill Harry Plopper in it.
Yeah, that's fun. So we go over to Cletus's Chicken Shack.
Also, I got a hair in my burger.
You did?
Yeah, and I went up to the counter. I was like, "This hair," and they're like, "It's probably your hair," and I was like, "It's blue."
Oh boy!
And I look back there. Marge is working in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's one of her many jobs.
Yeah, and I'm like, "You think this hair came from me? It's blue."
And they're like, "Sorry, we're filming the Marge Gets a Krusty Burger episode, so we're just kind of doing it during your normal business hours." Yeah, it's gonna be out next season.
They filmed The Simpsons out here too, by the way.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so Cletus's Chicken Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Cletus, the slack-jawed yokel from the show. This is just here's what we got 3 menu items here.
Mm-hmm.
We got Cletus's Peep Fried Chicken Platter. This is Matt Selman's recommendation, and this is what I've gotten before, consistently from this eatery. 3 pieces of fried chicken, my favorite food, corn on the cob, biscuit, mashed potatoes, and gravy. There's also chicken thumbs, which are just tendies, fried chicken tenders, corn on the cob, fries, and choice of barbecue sauce or honey mustard or ranch. I got all 3 bad sauces, and also none of them are. There are like what, and the ranch in particular you pointed out is a disaster.
The ranch is in the whatever the packet.
It's in a packet instead of a dunking cup. How is that functional?
It's been open for so long. What was the other thing that we complained about that was similar to the? I forget. There was something else like the ranch packet.
Yeah, there was another form factor issue,
which we were like, how do you not have this figured out after the park being open for 16 years or whatever?
There's also a chicken and waffle sandwich. So those are the 3 big things. Chicken waffle sandwich is a fried chicken breast and waffles with lettuce, tomato, maple mayo sauce, and fries.
No butter for the corn. Give it a little thing of butter for the corn.
Weird.
And give ranch in a little dunking cup.
In a little dipping cup.
It's in like a salad packet.
But it's anarchic because they've got you got Bullseye barbecue sauce. They've got Ken's Steakhouse ranch. It's just like they're sourcing whatever the cheapest, widely available Cisco dips and dressings are, instead of having something so unique to the park.
And then also the food is expensive. I guessed expensive. I was like, how much was that for all that he got? We got the waffle. We got 2 fried chickens, the waffle sandwich, and the chicken thumbs, which actually for theme parks this isn't bad. But I was like, I bet you that was $70. It was that.
$70.
$70. You add on a tip, 14%.
Yeah,
and it's it's a lot. It's a lot.
Let me just say this: the actual fried chicken on the Peep Fried Chicken Platter is legit good. And if that was, if there was a Cletus's near me and it was $12 instead of $19, I would get that regularly. Sure. It is really, I think it's quality fried chicken. I think the mashed potatoes and gravy are also legit good, and the biscuit is not bad. The corn is whatever. So that to me is a home run. For theme park food, I think that chicken platter is awesome. The chicken thubs are fine. They are like okay tenders. They are nothing special. I'd much rather have the fried chicken than the tendies. If you're someone who's just completely averse to bones, or you're trying to feed this to a kid who maybe is just only eats tendies, it makes sense to get that one. I think it's fine. They're decent. They're decent. They're not as well seasoned. They're not as well fried.
Our mystery guest loved all of them.
Our mystery guest did love those. The chicken and waffle sandwich is a debacle.
It sucks.
I thought it was flat out horrible. The actual fried chicken breast, I took a photo of it, was so low quality, and it was the sort of thing how do you do 3 different executions of fried chicken, and one of them is great, one of them is okay, and one of them is awful. I did not quite understand how that was even possible.
It just doesn't. The waffles aren't good. The chicken patty isn't good, and then there's lettuce and tomato, and it just none of it works together.
Compositionally, it makes 0 sense to have a maple sauce along with lettuce and tomato. Yes. That is just they are flavors that don't work together. It's a really inelegant construction, and I thought it was also poorly made on top of that. That I thought was straight up gross. And it's so strange that just coexists with the Peep Fried Chicken Platter that is legit very good. What did y'all think of your Cletus's experience?
Well, Cletus is a slack-jawed yokel, and he would have disgusting food, so that fits. But we didn't eat at that. We did walk through it, and the theme is great. I will say, if we weren't doing Krusty Burger, that is my normal meal in Springfield is the Cletus chicken platter. I love that platter, though. I when I had it in Orlando, and this is 9 years ago, so I don't know if this is true anymore. They had their biscuit was a blueberry biscuit, which was
that's great.
Liked that more than the other biscuit. I don't know if they still do it, but I when I bought it here for the first time, I was like, it's an all right biscuit, but it should be the blueberry one. But,
yeah. I didn't do the Chicken Shack either. I did Luigi's. I was very disappointed in the lack of theming. I think the only thing that attempts a joke on the menu is it's Fat Tony's Witness Protected Pasta, but that's kind of it. And what I had was called Nice Slice O Cheese Pizza. And I looked at it. It looks like traditional New York style heat lamp pizza. And when I try a new pizza place, I usually get the cheese slice because that's the base level. You want to see where you can go from 100%. There.
Yeah.
And it was really bad. I was surprised how bad cheese pizza could be. It feels like it's something I bought and put in the fridge and then poorly microwaved maybe 3 or 4 days later. It was dry. The edges were plasticky and rubbery. It was just a bad slice of cheese pizza. So I cannot, in good conscience, recommend Luigi's.
What a bummer.
No, it was nice that we were eating it, though, in front of the joke of the 3 tubes of Duff dispensing from one bigger tube. That made the pizza taste slightly better. Looking at that joke recreated in real life,
it is great that is a great touch.
I like that joke is there. I also like that was a joke that was cropped out of existence when it was only available and Simpsons was only streaming 16:9, and now that it's back 4:3, you can appreciate that and others again. But the other thing, they represent kind of Duff Gardens, which I think is fun. That's a theme parky thing. So I'm glad that has some sort of presence in the park. Luigi's. I kind of don't you kind of wish, and again they would not do this, and it's a theme park, but there's sit down establishments at theme parks. Don't you kind of wish that was a sit down Italian restaurant? And that was part of the fun of it. Again, it was like your pitch from earlier. This was a place you had to get reservations for, and it was kind of a to do, and it kind of represented like what it is in the show, which is like a nice night out.
Which instead it just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It could be like Fat Tony's, Fat Tony's reserved table and everything.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You could tell, though, Simpsons has a lot of fun with stereotypes, and you can tell that maybe they could be a little uneasy about pushing the Italian stereotypes a little too hard, as at least as far as the show goes, because there are some things where you'll think, oh, well, I understand why this is not at a family theme park, but then some of the clips you see are surprising. The clip about Hitler's head coming by in the Duff beer factory is part of the clip package, and I thought, I'm not going to see a Hitler joke at Disneyland.
Yeah, no,
That's true.
Disneyland will not acknowledge the existence of Adolf Hitler, but Universal does.
Doughboys also proudly mocks the Italian, so we don't. So we're on a different page from Universal.
I back up Bob on that pizza sucking. When it was done or not being so great, and it was $10. And I wish I had just gotten like the garlic bread because that looked a little fresher, and I could have just dipped it in marinara sauce and would have essentially been the same as having that cheese pizza.
Ah, that sucks.
Let's just say our mystery guest brought his daughter there, and they had plain pasta.
Yes.
And his daughter was like, this is nasty. And he was like, oh, my daughter's being fussy. And then he ate it, and he was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, how did they ruin
plain pasta?
Yeah.
So it seems like Luigi's is hurting over there.
It also seems like our mystery guest has at least one child. So that's another clue for you. Hashtag universal mystery guest. I wonder if anyone will get it.
Yeah, whoever the suspect, as you said, is. I know that it's going to be hard for people to get this.
I was curious about the pasta, but it was also 90 degrees out, and I didn't want a hot plate of mediocre pasta.
Sure, yeah.
And then to eat that in the sun.
Yes.
Yeah. Though special sauce at Krusty Burger is mayonnaise left out in the sun, so that would be accurate. But a general note I had about all the establishments there was that this crime has been done by the Universal Corporation, which is they have these Coke Freestyle machines. I love Coke Freestyle machines.
Yeah,
I want to use them all the time. You can't use them unless you buy a single Coca-Cola Freestyle souvenir cup for $19, which has an RFID thing in it because it will not dispense drinks unless you put that under there. It has to be that specific cup, and it will charge you $2 every time you do a refill on it unless you pay for the exclusive pass of unlimited refills that day.
That's so crazy. It's something that I think that they added, right? I don't think it was always that way, but it's insane.
I swear the last time I was there, Coke Freestyle was unlimited refills for whatever you ordered.
No, it's just everything. Every experience gets worse. You're spending more money, and then you're facing more upcharges. It's just such a bummer. I will say the one nice thing about the Freestyle machine, I brought a Yeti water bottle, which I'm really glad I did because we also were experiencing a very hot day. And you can refill your water bottles at those without any sort of expensive novelty glass. Yeah, that element's a bummer. Is there any other food that we haven't touched on that anyone got? I mean, yes, Mitch is going to grab our Lard Lad donuts, which we got to go.
I think that the Lard Lad donuts, I'm going to say this is my hot take, are the best food in the Simpsons world.
They're good. They're surprisingly good too. Because the first time you look at it, you're like, this isn't going to be good. It's a giant novelty, oversized donut. It costs $10, and we got a chocolate varietal, and then we also got I think it's called the Big Pink. Is that what it's called? Yeah, the Big Pink is the one that's like kind of like the Homer donut, the canonical Homer donut.
No, me and Bob got the Big Pink as well when we were there. I also love the Lard Lad donuts taken from the Treehouse of Horror, where in Homer, wants the Big Pink in it, and it is a normal sized donut. This is more of the one Homer imagined, though not as big as the one in the sign, like it's Homer requests in that episode.
Yeah,
Yes.
it has some advantages in that it's hard to screw up, and also, as far as I know, they are baked on site every day, so there's a degree of freshness that you're not getting with a lot of the other food that feels like it's just been defrosted and served to you much later.
Yeah, that's why I like getting into because you can get it in the gift stores too, but we got it right at the window there. This is damn good. This is damn good.
Oh, yeah. I'm buying
it's a day old.
the chocolate one right now. It is a day old, and it is good as hell. I'll hold this up for the camera so people can see exactly its size. It's about the size of my face.
We had the Big Pink the next day, and it held up very well. In the past, I've had the maple bacon, and I love that. If I was to order one to split with my husband, normally we go with the maple bacon. Though the cookies and cream, or I think it's called, that is a favorite of mine too.
So I'm curious because I've kind of gotten, and I also don't eat pork anymore, so I've kind of gotten exhausted by, that's a non-starter anyway. But like, I got a little bit burned out on the whole bacon dessert thing. But I love maple. And so like when I encounter like a maple bacon thing, I'm always like, I wish it was just like a maple bar. But like, do you like the bacon dessert? Do you like that element of it? Or is it the maple doing the heavy lifting there?
Can I steal your napkin?
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm a big fan of candied bacon. I like it on most things. There's the Choco bacon bar they sell in the Quickie Mart as well, which is half of a joke. It's they didn't get it exactly right, but no, I like candied bacon on things. I like going to at the Voodoo Donuts that's at City Walk.
Oh, sure.
I think at least once I've gotten the maple bacon there on it at the fancier donut places. But and also that I think the price point by theme park standards of $10 for the Big Pink is not ridiculous. Like I think it's reasonable.
Well, it's like what Bob was saying about the sundae. You hear like an $8 sundae at a theme park. It's like, that doesn't sound too bad. And yeah, for this thing, I'll hold up the Big Pink for our camera here for our video listeners.
It's as big as his head.
It's like the size of my face, but it's like you would expect this to cost like $20 at a theme park. You'd expect to be outright gouged by it. You wouldn't be shocked if it was $30. And here it is $10. It's not bad. It's a decent value. Also, kids love this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and mystery guest.
Yes, right.
I think we saw a family with two kids just carrying the donut and just ripping chunks off of it and walking down the big escalators.
If you buy 4 at once, they give you for free that Lard Lad bag, the little tote bag for carrying it.
Wait, really? That's awesome.
We got 3.
Yeah.
Why didn't we just get 4?
We should have got 4.
So close.
I'm going to take some of it. I love this so much.
The pink one, it's like the kind of thing I was like, I kind of expect to like the chocolate one more, but the pink one is so good. Just like this glaze is really working for me.
No, yeah, it's the king of the
buddy.
Simpsons land. Like, I'm glad they, not unlike how they kept going the Doc Brown's fried chicken and the fried chicken tradition. If the Simpsons land were to ever leave Universal, I would hope they just have like the large donut. Like they're like, hey, Simpsons doesn't.
Right.
They can sell a donut without calling it the Simpsons donut.
Yeah, and there was the joke about the Big Pink in that Trios of Horror, but I think it didn't officially become the donut of The Simpsons until the movie because it was in all the marketing. So I think that's when we just thought of it as the Simpsons donut because I think before Homer preferred the purple stuff donuts.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah, they used it so much in the signage. The one thing I will say, and I don't remember when exactly came out, but I remember my memory of having this virtual Springfield CD-ROM is that disc looked like a pink donut. I could be wrong about that.
No, it is. Though it is filled with purple stuff too, because you'll see it in so it's kind of both.
Yeah, it's
yes.
kind of both. Yeah. Wow, how about that? Yeah, that makes sense that the Simpsons movie is kind of the genesis of it. But yeah, I like seeing the Lard Lad. They have the big Lard Lad mascot on top. They have a physical build. That's great too.
Yeah, though he's not as big. If they were going to go 1-to-1 accuracy, he's not as big as he should be. He should be like he should be as big as the neon King Kong at City Walk.
Man,
That's
how awesome would
he
that
should
be if there was like a building sized Lard Lad? I would love that.
Did you know too in Orlando they have the Jebediah statue? They don't have it in Hollywood. That's the one thing I wish they had.
Yeah. That's a bummer. That's an omission.
We bought our mystery guest one of these donuts too, by the way.
We did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To give more clues as to who it is.
Well, one other joke I want to credit as being good. Well, I love the Marge hair cotton candy they sell as like a tie-in product. Like that's very clever. But also at the Suds McDuff hot dog stand, they sell Ralph Wiggum's Choo Choo Churro, which that's cute.
I love that.
And they have the Twisted Pretzel of Marge Simpson, which is the name, or is a reference to the name of the episode where she has the pretzel wagon.
With guest voice Jack Lemmon, R.I.P.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should have tried the Suds McDuffs because we were looking for a Marge pretzel somewhere, and we were kind of like, oh, they should have done that. But yeah, it's nice that it's somewhere in the park.
And the Quickie Mart sells a Krusty Clump bar, which is what Homer gets the candy convention tickets out of, is a Krusty Clump bar. So you can get a real Krusty Clump bar, which is milk chocolate, marshmallow, pretzels, and potato chips, all clumped together.
They also have, and I like that it's unfortunately doesn't have beer in it, but they have like a Duff can you can get that has like an orange drink inside of it. So it's nice at least that if you want to have the can as a souvenir, you can pick that up.
And we ate in the Krusty private room. That's my favorite part of the whole. We stayed there for like an hour just soaking it in, didn't we, Bob?
Yes,
That's
although
awesome.
I think private is a misnomer. It has many entrances and is just upstairs from where you get all of your food. But I think people might overlook it if they're just looking for any place to sit down. It's the room with all of the original illustrations on the walls from many of the people who've worked on the show that a lot of casual Simpsons fans probably won't know, but they'll appreciate the art from people like David Silverman and other directors like that.
And they get to sign their names on it, which they normally don't get to do. And they also get to draw in their personal style, not the on-model style. Like the Silvermans are some of my favorite there. Like his drawing of Krusty smoking is one of my favorite drawings of the whole thing. And it's also full of there's like a live Gabbo doll there. There's like a Krusty's 27th anniversary special poster, just like from the episode. There's a wall of all the sideshows, including Sideshow Raheem. It's like, it is reference town, like the work they went into it. Hearing Matt Selman on your podcast talk about all the work they put into it, and suggestions they made, you see the care really on display in that private Krusty room.
I'm glad you shouted that out, because that's an absolutely. I think that's a little tucked away that people should absolutely explore. It's really cool to take it all in.
Also, Bort keychains in the Quickie Mart. They sell
That's right.
Bort keychains, which is fun. Anyways, that was so damn good.
Yeah, that honestly, both those donuts. Emma, Casey, if you want any big donut, it's a little messy, but happy to have some.
I don't have to touch a bunch of keys.
Oh man, imagine Anya getting in here yelling about a bunch of pink frosting.
Yeah, I wonder which podcast is responsible for pink frosting being all over the keyboards. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Spoon Man. Hey, are you looking for a natural and healthier way to experience a carefree moment? Cornbread's THC gummies offer a balanced sense of happiness and relaxation. Cornbread's THC edibles contain a 1-to-1 THC to CBD ratio, perfect for taking the edge off without making you feel anxious or paranoid like other cannabis edibles. Each gummy has just 10 milligrams of THC, or just the right dose. Plus, unlike most hemp THC products, they don't use any harsh solvents like petrochemicals or industrial acids, and they contain no synthetic ingredients. Cornbread THC edibles are Farm Bill compliant and legal for adults over 21 years of age. Don't want THC? Try Cornbread CBD gummies. These gummies are the highest quality full spectrum gummies on the market. They're USDA certified organic and third-party tested for potency, terpenes, and contaminants. Cornbread CBD gummies are non-psychoactive, making them safe and effective for daily use. Take Cornbread's 2-minute quiz to get custom recommendations tailored to your needs, whether for aches, pains, sleep support, or stress relief. If you want to give Cornbread a try, they're offering Doughboys listeners 30% off your first order. Wow. Just visit cornbreadhemp.com/doughboys and use promo code Doughboys at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/doughboys and use code Doughboys for 30% off your first order. This is the good life, buddy.
Okay, we should get to our final thoughts on Krusty Burger, and we can talk about we can also, as I was saying, rank Simpsons Land generally from a food standpoint. So Henry, Bob, the way this works, we'll all go around. I mean, I know y'all don't know the pod, but I'll just explain it. We'll go around. We'll give a closing argument, if you will, and then we will give this a score from 0 to 5 forks. Henry, let's start with you. Your thoughts, your fork score for Krusty Burger at all.
I love the theming of the Hollywood Krusty Burger and walking through it. I love the clips that are carefully curated of all these food clips. And I love, love, love the private Krusty room. That eating area is like, that is 5 forks to me. I love it so much. It's I spend too long there every time I go to Universal Hollywood. The food itself, I mean, for a $16.50 for the Rib Witch, like the price is like, it is theme park prices, so I can't be that bothered by it. But like, it was like the Mother Nature burger to me was an all right burger. The Rib Witch, pretty good, though there's a better barbecue pork sandwich at the park, which my husband reminded me of that I loved before, which was, it's a grilled cheese thing at the Minions Cafe that comes with barbecue banana sauce you can dip it in, which is it's really good.
Oh, that does sound good.
That sounds good. It's good.
So, and the Buzz Colin and Cherry Squishy, they were all right for me too. Also, I wish they had curly fries like I've seen in Orlando. The crinkle cut, I'd rather have curly. So my fork score for the overall meal, I would say, if I'm grading on the curve of theme park food, expensive stuff, I still did have a fine time eating it, as far as like, I wouldn't have preferred eating it too many other places there. I'd give it 3 forks.
3 forks. Good score. Bob, your thoughts, your fork score.
Yeah, I have to echo a lot of what Henry says, and not just because we think the same way and talk about The Simpsons for the past 10 years, but the restaurant has anything going on in the restaurant outweighs the actual quality of the food.
Yeah.
I like I said, I appreciate whenever there's an available Beyond Burger or Impossible Burger, because theme parks are very meat heavy, and I like how that's being introduced and apparently so popular that Henry had to wait half an hour to get his. And it was fine. The bun was serviced. The bun was manageable. The fries were cafeteria grade, and the beer was okay. So overpriced, middle of the road food, but like Henry was saying, the experience of being in Krusty Burger, being in that special room dedicated to the artist, that is definitely makes me bump up what I would have given it without that theming experience. So I will give it a 3 forks out of 5.
3 forks. All right, Spoonman, what do you think?
Well, the food isn't great. If I had to judge just the food, it's like 2.5 forks, 2.75 forks. The theming is fantastic. And when you're in there, you're having fun. Krusty Burger is actually not my least favorite, but compared to, I like Cletus's more than I like Krusty Burger. But Krusty Burger, you want to go to Krusty Burger the most. I wish it was a little more spacious and the booths and stuff like that. I wish there was, I think it is just a thing where there's just not a lot of real estate and it was the size it had to be. Cletus's I like a lot. Is it as good as Doc Brown's fried chicken used to be? I don't know. That used to be like the star of the show. Cletus is still up there because it's just decent fried chicken.
I don't remember Doc Brown's fried chicken specifically enough to know if there was like an actual difference or even just remembering liking it more because I was a kid.
I loved it. And also I do think that they had the blueberry biscuits, I believe. I'm not sure, but I don't know. I love Doc Brown's. I like Cletus's. Krusty Burgers is mid, as the kids would say. But the theming is so good that I would put it in the Golden Plate Club.
Wow.
That's how good I mean, it's just as fun being in there. So I would say like 4 forks overall.
Wow,
the
4
food
forks.
is 2.5 forks, 2 3/4 forks, 2.75 forks, somewhere in there. I'll say 2.5 forks just to give it a number. But the theming is so fun. I really enjoy it. And I got to say this too. We left the restaurant. There was like a SoCal surfer dude who was a Doughboys listener. And he went in for the hug. He gave me like a fist. He gave me like a fist bump.
Yeah, he
and
gave
then
me the bro hug. The handshake that turns into a hug.
He gave me the bro hug. And then I was like, Weiger's here too. And then you were like 100 yards away. You're like, hi, buddy. Like just waving at me.
Hey, buddy. Yeah.
But then after that, so we met a listener. We went down the stairs. We went on the tram tour.
We did go on the tram tour. Yeah.
So we went on the tram tour. We went down the stairs. And then there's this Universal employee says the tram tour, and then he's like, the Waterworld stunt show is still available. The last showing is at 8 p.m. as featured on Netflix's Love. He said this. He was being sly.
Yeah, he was being sly.
He saw me and he said it, and then mystery guest was like, he's on Love. He started yelling it out loud. He's all up, and I was like, yeah, you fool! This guy, he knew, and the guy was like nodding and laughing at Susser. He gave me a thumbs up, which was pretty great. And then later to talk about when mystery guest loves like trying to get us to go against each other with COVID.
Yeah, even more so than receiving free food. Something happened that tickled mystery guest, as pink as the big pink itself, which was you got recognized as we were walking towards our vehicles, but it was someone who thought you were John Gemberling from Broad City.
Someone thought I was Gemberling and fucking loved it. That the big guys got confused.
No, he lit up like a Christmas tree. Mystery guest.
The mystery guest.
Yeah.
Yes, mystery guest. And he was
smiling ear to ear.
And then the two, they were very nice. He was like, "You were great." Like the Costco thing, which I think is a reference to Broad City. He was like, "What you did with the Costco thing," and then his wife was like, I told him you weren't in that show. You're from Love. And I was like, yeah, I'm from Love. And then they left and then they walked away and I was like, see you. I was like, we got to break this down over here. And we went over and he just talked about how he loved that I got mistaken for this guy. But we went on the tram tour, which was very fun. The Nope section sucks.
Yeah, look, I say this with a lot of affection for the work of Jordan Peele, and I really love Nope.
Nope is my favorite movie of his.
Nope is an awesome movie. You want that section to be great, and it's just like nothing happens. It's unfortunately very underwhelming. We did have something insane happen to us on the tram tour. I don't know if we want to talk about.
Yeah, no, we should.
We got.
They also, by the way, mention every Peacock show except for Twisted Metal on the.
They
mentioned
mentioned another show as their number one streaming show, which is not true. Twisted Metal is just more. It's like already.
It was Fresh Prince.
Yeah, it's like that's our most streamed show on Peacock. It's like, oh no, it's not true.
Yeah.
You were stewing. And mystery guest again delighted.
Mystery guest delighted. Anytime they brought up a Peacock show, mystery guest was like loving it.
Yeah, when do we hang out with mystery guests?
I don't know. Why did we bring him? He also didn't even seem happy to be there. But what happened on the tour that you wanted to say?
Well, so we're on the tram.
Mm-hmm.
We get to a certain point. They're like, hey, we're going to go to a tunnel. We go inside the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Everything stops. We get attacked by dinosaurs.
That's true. This is true.
It was crazy. When dinosaurs start attacking, it was like T-Rexes on both sides of us. They grab like the rear of the tram. It's like shaking like crazy. They pull off like the back car. It feels so bad for these people. And it gets flung down the valley.
Yeah, I think they're dead.
I think they're dead. And we're I was trying to play it cool, but honestly, I was scared shitless. I was so scared. I thought we were going to die. And I was like, why aren't we going? Why are we stuck here? Thankfully, King Kong shows up.
King Kong showed up.
King Kong shows up. He starts wrecking house. God bless that guy. Starts wrecking house, takes the dinos out of there, suplexes one of them, punches another one out. We got out of there safely, thankfully, but it was crazy.
Yeah, no.
Well, Henry and I met The Rock on our tour.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's awesome. Oh,
and
man.
he was just surrounded by bottles filled with piss. It was not a good experience.
You're going Four Forks.
Yeah, no, and I just wanted to see the filming at a classic, San Francisco train station, and then it just didn't go as well as it was supposed to.
Which I got to give a shout out to the stuff that the Jaws, the earthquake, the Jaws, and the flooding,
the flood, the stuff that's been there forever.
The stuff that's been there forever still rules.
Still is awesome.
All the stuff that they added. The Nope thing is truly just, and we were saying in the day, Suspect was saying in the daytime that it's light out, so the lights flashing means nothing. And then at night, the lights just flash and that's it. I want to give a shout out to Wags who we drove by real film sets and I was nervous that we'd see people we knew. And we drove by real film sets and there was a grip taking stuff out and Wags was just waving to the grip. And I thought that he was going to pull you out of the tram and beat you to death.
Somebody waved back at me.
He was, but you were waving to the people that you were enjoying yourself quite a bit.
I was having fun.
Were you waving at? Did you wave at Ted, who was wishing the tour a 60th anniversary?
He waved at everyone. And Sus said thank you to King Kong when King Kong saved our lives.
Yes, yeah.
I could tell you were nervous when the dinosaurs attacked.
I just got it all worked out.
I could smell it if you catch my.
I asked their tram driver afterwards. I was like, why do they take us through there?
Yeah,
dinosaurs might attack, and she was like, look. I can't say this officially, but follow the money. I was like, wow.
She's right.
Yeah, she's right.
You know what the scariest part of the tram tour to me was?
What's that?
Everyone coughing around us. Theme parks are a crowded theme park. They
Yeah.
were like, we like smelled shit. Like people just like fucking ripping.
It's hot. It smells fucking horrible.
It's
People
fucking-
are sick. It's awful.
It was yesterday.
and
Was
everything's
disgusting
so
in a lot of
expensive.
ways.
You're just spending so much money to
Yes.
have like a mostly like bad experience.
For the experience yesterday, a thing that we weren't really happy to do, we probably spent like $600.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Anyways,
All that said, I do really enjoy Simpsons Land. I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. I think it's great. I think I have fun every time I'm there. I love walking around.
what's the timeline you would give it until it's gone? What do you think?
I think it'll be. I mean, I've heard speculation. Maybe y'all have some insight over on the Talking Simpsons pod, but like I've heard speculation of it as early as like 2028. It might be gone. I don't know if you
Yeah,
heard anything.
I believe the deal is up in 2028.
Yeah.
Is that right, Henry?
The stories go that when they signed the deal in 2008, it was a 20-year deal, not an indefinite deal. That's why, like, Spider-Man will be at Universal until they close a Spider-Man ride. But Fox didn't sign an indefinite deal. They signed a 20-year deal. And while technically it could be extended in 2028, I don't see Disney doing that. Most people wouldn't expect it. And there are the rumors that they are planning other Nintendo-themed lands for the Japan park first that will then be recreated in other spots. And in Hollywood, they might get rid of the Simpsons land. That's what would be marked for it. So I'm just saying, enjoy the Simpsons Land. You might just be having the last few years of it. 2028 is probably the last year, the latest it'll go. They could close it. If they make the deal earlier, like in 2026, they'll be like, that's the end of it, the last year. Like, no more Simpsons.
Yeah, that'll be a bit of a dark day, but I've been glad that people have been able to enjoy it while it exists. And I will say, Krusty Burger, I feel like is worth eating at once. It's cool to see inside. Mm-hmm. Every time I'm there, I want to walk inside of it. But if it wasn't for the purpose of this podcast, it's never a thing I would choose to eat. Cletus's Chicken Shack, I think, is legit good. I think that the bone-in fried chicken there is very, very yummy, and that's like, you know, again, my go-to place to eat there. I think the food overall there is, yes, it's kind of mid, Mitch. And I do think the theming elevates it obviously a little bit. But like, if the food was at least good, to me, this is a 4 or 5 forker. The food being like middling to, you know, some of it borderline inedible, I think that anchors it more towards, you know, where everyone else is at. So I will land at 3 forks for Krusty Burger. But you know, I had a lot of fun visiting it with you and our mystery guest.
And a shout out to our tour guide, the tram tour guide.
Yeah,
she did a great job.
Yeah, she's great.
And there was a moment where at the Bates Motel you can get out and take pictures, and me and Weiger just stayed on the tram.
Can we just sit?
We just sit. They're like, yeah, sure, I guess so. And we just sat until, which was great.
You packed up pictures with Jaws and the giant Kong hand and Dominic Toretto's muscle car. You totally missed out on it.
We were too tired, but it would have been cool.
Mm-hmm. Overall, a fun day,
a fun outing. I'm glad we were able to do it. I wish we were able to do it in person with everyone, but I'm glad we finally got this episode done. Hey, that was our review of Krusty Burger. It's time for a segment, Emma. If everybody had a portion across the USA, then everybody'd be serving like California burritos. You'd see them snacking from baggies and eating Sandos too. A bushel tomatoes, serving USA.
Serving USA?
Deep fried, pan fried USA. 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 Deep fried, pan fried. Everybody's gone serving USA. Okay, so I will name a snack, and Mitch and our guest must guess
Surfing USA? Is that there was no parody to
It's Serving USA.
Oh.
We're guessing serving sizes. I've done this one twice before. Mitch and Bob and Henry must guess the amount of servings per container. The closest guess wins a point for that round. Assume every product's container is its standard size unless stated otherwise.
I'm sorry. It's just you sing it in the tone of a kid talking to his older sister's friend who he thinks is cute. So
on top of my vocal range. What, am I supposed to take it down an octave? I sounded like the Beach Boys. Deep fried pan fried.
That's pretty
USA.
good. Deep fried pan fried
USA.
Everybody going surfing.
Everybody. I guess I could take it falsetto. Everybody's going surfing.
I can't do that anymore.
You can't falsetto anymore?
Everybody, is that it?
Everybody's going surfing.
Everybody's going surfing. Is that it?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's
Everybody's
good.
going surfing.
It's verging on Michael Jackson impressions.
Yeah, but these new helium balloons, folks. Okay, so first up,
New helium balloon.
yeah, it's the thing you just found out about. Okay, so I will name a snack, and then everyone will guess how many servings per container. First up, Barnum's Animal Crackers. This is a 2.13 ounce box.
I'll go first. I say it is 3 servings per container.
Henry says 3.
Can we do decimals on this?
Yes.
Okay, I'll say 2.5.
Mitch, what do you think?
I'm going with 1 serving, Wags.
Bob comes closest. It is 2 servings per container.
Wow.
Bob gets a point.
Well, without going over?
Well, I don't think I have the...
This is in Prices Right.
Yeah, we don't have
Right?
Prices
Come
Right
on.
rules for this one.
That's
Should I
insane.
institute
We
them?
have Prices Right rules for the game it shouldn't be on.
Well, that's just because you would. That was because you just want to win is the issue. If it had gone the
Yeah.
other way, you would say we shouldn't have Prices Right rules.
That's not true.
I absolutely is true. Bob gets a point. Next up, Mott's applesauce. This is a 48 ounce jar, so this is a big boy jar, not a
48
little cup.
ounces.
Yeah, it's a big jar, like a jar of applesauce.
Damn.
I'm saying 8. I say 8 is, I think, 1. Oh, no, wait. No. 12. I'm saying 12. That's what I'm saying.
Henry says 12.
Henry,
I'll do 14.
Henry, a.k.a. Mr. Guess First.
Sorry. Well, the rules were not properly established. Who goes first?
I guess we could.
I do want to be Mr. Guest Second, if that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Good.
I guess I'm Mr. Guess Third.
Yeah, I think you're in the best position though.
Yeah.
What are your guys' guesses again?
12 and 14.
I'm gonna
14
go,
for me.
I'm gonna go 10 and 10 even.
We have 112. We have 110.
Yeah, I said 10. Yes.
I think you both get a point because it's 12. Oh, sorry, it's 11 servings.
Oh, it's 11.
11 servings.
Oh,
It's exactly
okay.
11. So yeah, everyone gets a point now.
Wow.
This is where Price is Right rules would have cost me it, so I'm glad I
That's
fought
true.
against that. Yeah.
Next up, Takis Fuego Fiesta sized bag.
Oh, boy.
This is a 1 pound, 8 ounce bag.
Oh my God.
It's a big boy bag. Takis party bag.
Oh my God. This is gonna be well.
Oh, I guess okay, all right. 15. That's mine.
15 for Mr. Guest First.
I'll say 20.
20.
That's where I was thinking. I was thinking 20, but I'll go 25 then. You know what? I'll go big.
Mitch, if there was a rule where you got an extra point for being exact, you would get it here because it is exactly 25 servings per container. However, that rule does not exist for
course
this
it doesn't.
particular game, so unfortunately you do not benefit. You do get a point, though, and you are in the lead.
You fucker. You
Next
trying
up.
to make me lose.
Canada Dry Ginger Ale, a 1 liter of Canada Dry. How
1
many servings
liter.
per container?
I have the answer. I know it.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay. As guest firster, I will say I'm going to say 8 again.
That's
8.
exactly what I was going to say.
I'll go with 4.
8, 4.
I'm going to go with the dumbest guess I can. 7, right below 8.
Bob is going to take it. It has only 3 servings per container. Isn't that wild? Yeah, usually these servings are so compact.
I was so sure that it was 8 servings.
Right. No, usually they
Henry, I
keep
was
them
right
low
there
so
with
they can
you.
keep the
So
sugar
like a
low.
2
but-
liter is 6 servings.
Oh, is it really?
Right? Well, I mean, if a liter
I thought a
is
2 liter
3,
was.
a 2
I
liter
thought a
would be
2 liter
6.
was. Oh, was it 1 liter?
This is a 1 liter, yeah.
1 liter.
1 liter, yeah.
I think it's fitting. Our friend from Vancouver got the Canada Dry one right.
That's true.
And the metric system one.
Wait,
All
how
right,
many,
next
how many
up,
was it? Was it 4 servings?
3 servings.
3 servings. Okay.
Next up, veggie straws, a 24-ounce bag of veggie straws.
What are veggie straw? Oh, I know what they are.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm going to go with 5.
5.
Oh, 5.
I'll go with 4.
4.
And I'll go with 3.
We got a 5, a 4, and a 3.
That's right.
By the way, I love one of the hosts of Doughboys asking, what are veggie straws? I'm gonna eat that shit. Henry, you come closest because you had the highest. It actually has 24 servings per container, if you can believe that.
Well, they're not healthy veggie straws,
Isn't
right?
that wild? Okay, next up. A giant Rice Krispies treat. So like a Rice Krispies treat, basically the size of a lard lad donut.
Like the kind that Bart took a bite out of at the Quimby family party?
That's right.
But okay, it's what is the distinct name of the size, just to be clear?
This is a 2-pound sheet of giant Rice Krispies treat.
All right, I'm going to say 64. I'm going 64.
64. Ooh, I like that guess.
I'll go half of that, 32.
And I'm going to go right in the middle somewhere, 48.
It is a multiple of 12, but it is 24 servings per container. So Bob is going to get this one. Okay, Mitch has 2, Bob has 3, Henry has 2. Next up, Kettle Brand jalapeno chips, a 5-ounce bag.
5-ounce bag.
5-ounce bag.
What is a 5-ounce bag like a normal? It's a kind of a smaller bag, right?
5-ounce bags, yeah. This. By the way, I will just say this. This is sourced by Amelia. This one has to be wrong. So if you just want to, I'll go by what she says. I'm certain it's wrong. So try to guess wrong.
Well, I'm going to stick with my original guess I was going to say, which is just one. It's one serving.
One serving, okay.
4.
4.
It has to be wrong.
It's 100% wrong. If this is right.
I'm guessing either 69 servings or 100 servings. I'll say 69 servings.
I'll give it to Bob because it is 13 servings.
Oh.
There's no way there's 13 servings of jalapeno chips in a small snack-sized bag, right?
Yeah, I thought it would be something freaky.
No, I think she just had the wrong information here. I'll text her about it. Finally,
I mean, she did have the wrong information.
Yeah.
A 5-ounce bag doesn't have.
There's no way that has 13 servings of chips. That's insane.
The serving size is 13 chips on a 5-ounce bag. I just looked it up.
So how many servings per container does it have?
5 servings per container.
She transposed it wrong. I think Bob still gets it.
Bob still gets it.
So it's 13 chips is 1 serving.
There we go.
So what is and how many servings? It's
5 servings per container.
Bob is
in the greater meta game of Doughboys, then how many demerits does this get Amelia for getting that wrong?
Do I get a point because 69 is a really funny guess?
Yeah, I'll give you a bonus point for a funny guess. If anyone wants to throw out a funny number, like 69's been used, but like a 420 or whatever, that's a free point. So just so you know. Finally, Haribo gummy bears, a 5-ounce bag. This is the same size bag as a jalapeno chips. This one, I think the information is correct.
I'm going to guess first. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
420 servings.
You didn't even say it in a funny way.
420 servings, man.
Casey, 2 hours and 10 minutes in the episode, just fed up with your shit.
I'm going to say 5 servings, man.
Oh, shit. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm going to say 6 servings, man.
Henry comes closest, which means Bob wins. Congrats to Bob.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Henry comes
Henry
closest,
got that point.
Bob wins the game. Henry gets the point. Bob wins the game overall.
But I also got a point too, right?
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to tie with Bob because of your 420 guess?
Wins.
All right, Bob
Bob's
wins.
was
tie
also
goes
funny,
to the guest.
So yeah.
Traditionally, tie goes to the guest as well, right? Yeah,
that's a good point. Hey, that was Serving USA. Just like a restaurant, we value your feedback. Let's open to the feedback. And today's email is from Edmund88. They write, if you were plopped in an anime/cartoon, what would your first meal be? I would devour anything on Delicious in Dungeon. P.S. Mitch killed it on Twisted Metal. Motherfucker had the same, if not more. They wrote motherfucker like that. So that's why I read it. Motherfucker had the same, if not more, than Thomas Hayden Church. Props, bro. How about that?
I
think they were saying that you were in the show as much as a big celebrity.
Oh, thank you.
I think it's probably about true in terms of screen time.
Sure.
Yeah. You were paid the same, right?
Yeah. Exact same.
I'm curious. I do want to get to this question, but more generally, like animation is as y'all's bread and butter. You know so much about it. Do you have any particular favorites beyond The Simpsons? Like series, genres, like movies. Anything come to mind?
Well, we do cover other shows on our network like Futurama, King of the Hill. We're a big fan of that era of late night Fox programming. But then we have covered anime and a lot of other shows. There's actually too much to list, Henry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I need to single out.
Really, plus movies too. But like Batman is a big one for us too, and a lot of the superhero stuff. So yeah, we knew a ton about Simpsons when we started talking Simpsons from all of the commentaries, and then we dug deeper than the commentaries and interviewed a lot of people who worked on the show, like Bill Oakley. We loved your Bill Oakley one, going all the way back. I loved listening to Doughboys to learn what Simpsons writers ate when they were writers there. But yeah, I think we've just come to really love the world of animation. But more than we did when we started it. But we even to this day, actually this isn't new anymore. It just turned 10 years old. But like, I'm a huge Steven Universe fan as well, and the related shows too, like OKKO and Craig of the Creek, shows like that. And we've talked to the creators of those shows too.
Where do you stand? You mentioned Batman the Animated Series. Where do you stand on Mask of the Phantasm?
So it's coming back, isn't the Batman the Animated Series coming back?
Yes, it'll be already out by the time this goes live. But when we started covering movies on our podcast series, What a Cartoon Movie, Batman Mask of the Phantasm was the first, wasn't it, Henry? And
it was. So clearly we hate it because we made it the first one we did. No, we love it. I have to tell you, Nick, when I listened to the newcomers you did about that, I was just nodding my head in agreement with you the entire time of like, oh, there's somebody here speaking the truth about Mask of the Phantasm.
God bless you. I was so I felt like I did a really bad job stating the case for that movie on that show, but it did a very, very fun show to do, of course, to the funniest people. But yeah, that you were new to Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes, I loved it. It was great.
You didn't love it?
It was okay.
I retcon it in front of the Talking Simpsons guys.
At the time,
no, you were like, you thought it was fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, at the time, I think we covered it in 2018, and I think we said it was the best Batman movie. I'm still inclined to agree, even though I've kind of fallen back in love with Batman Returns. It does so much right, and it's such a compact little movie that I love every time I go back to it.
I also think Mask of the Phantasm is like the best Batman movie.
I liked it pretty good. You loved. Yeah,
I liked it.
I think that I wasn't as enthusiastic as you, but I still think it's good.
Okay.
It's got Batman's origin in it. Batman gets laid in it.
It's true.
Like it's got a great central mystery to it. The Joker is in there, and the Joker gets his teeth knocked out. It's great.
Yeah,
there's blood.
It's really well done. Okay,
we don't like people getting laid here and there. We don't like that. We don't. Not even here or there.
No, you want Batman should be Volcel.
Yeah,
that's a better version of the character. Okay, so the question is, if you were plopped in an anime/cartoon, what would your first meal be? I mean, my mind naturally goes to Miyazaki, just such toothsome food depicted.
Man,
you
and I just
Ghibli
eating
films.
in that. We'd be eating that food that turns us into pigs.
Oh, we turn to pigs immediately.
I mean, like, I would wouldn't you do that, though?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, just to be, like, chowing away and then turn into a pig.
They clearly are loving that food.
Yeah,
I mean, that food is so good that they're just like, they don't even notice their physical forms changing.
I think that would be up there.
Yeah.
I think that would be one of the things I'd want to do.
Yeah, the Ghibli food always looks great. The lead animator on some of those is one of the best artists who's ever worked at Ghibli. Atsuko Tanaka, I believe is her name. She's great. I love the food in those things. I actually, when I went to Tokyo a while ago, when I went to the Ghibli Museum, they were having a special dedicated exhibition of just all the food they've drawn in it, and I have a magnet of the giant toast with the half egg on it that they eat in Lapida, Castle in the Sky.
Oh wow!
Which, It's very good.
I'll say that if I'm an anime character in that world, ethics go out the window. Anime animals do not feel pain. You're allowed to eat them. So I would get one of those big pieces of meat on the bone that they eat in shows like One Piece, the stretchy meat.
Oh, yeah.
With sometimes little hairs are growing out of it. Who knows what's going on there? But it looks like nothing of this earth. And actually, if you go to like the Monster Hunter Cafe in Japan, or maybe the One Piece Cafe, they will sell you the stretchy meat, but it's made out of cheese.
That's
awesome. The thing that's a great pick. The thing that I always think of is just from food specifically is how much I wanted the pizza from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like and I'm talking like the 90s cartoon, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that version of it.
We know it.
Mitch.
Heroes in a Half Shell.
There is a younger generation that has a different Ninja Turtles theme.
Sure.
I assure you. I have talked to these people. I've talked to people I know who are adults who are like, don't know that song. They know a different
Teenage
song.
Mutant Ninja Turtle. That
like
could be the new song.
Yeah.
It could be what's his name from a Family Guy?
Seth MacFarlane?
Seth MacFarlane is singing a little jazzy tune. He's crooning.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know.
A different television billionaire than Chuck Lorre who wrote it. It'd be the Seth MacFarlane. Okay. Quick TMNT question then. From those lyrics in it, what do they say about Raphael? Because I've heard some people hear this lyric differently than others. So when they say Raphael is, what do they say?
Crude but rude.
I remember. So for years I thought it was cool but crude. Later I figured out that I think it's cool but rude, which I think that makes more sense.
Rude.
I believe rude is the correct one. Yes.
Got it. Yeah. What did you hear?
I thought I always heard it that way too, but maybe I'm Berenstain burying myself here. But I think I always said cool but rude, and then when I met somebody who said it was crude and was singing along, I was like, "What?"
You know, one thing while we're talking about animated food, the Good Morning Burger is one thing that I realized just kind of came to pass. Like there became such an eggs on burger trend that was a thing that's in The Simpsons where it's like talking about like, oh my God, I can't believe how gluttonous Homer is that he's coveting this burger. And now you're just like, you can just get a breakfast burger a lot of places.
I would love to try that burger that he wipes on the wall or whatever it is that he wipes on the wall that's so greasy.
So it's a fish sandwich at Krusty Burger, right?
Yeah.
Well, when we cover the early episodes, we see how reality has outlapped The Simpsons, where one of the early jokes is that Homer wants triple chocolate ice cream. And in my head, I think, oh, that's something you can buy now. This is not a joke. But they could not imagine a world in which there could be 3 kinds of chocolate in one little container
right.
in 1990.
As our wonderful artist coined on one of our T-shirts we sell, it's that Simpsons predicted nothing, satire is dead.
By the way, Neil Campbell went to that the Studio Ghibli museum.
Oh, wow.
And he saw Miyazaki there.
That's wild.
Wow.
I know. He took a picture.
What a sighting.
Picture. I know.
That's amazing. I've been there 4 times and never seen him. Man, that's amazing.
Pretty cool.
See. It's not like he lives there, so that's crazy. But like, they used to when I went back. I went back for the first time since the lockdown this year when I went to Tokyo in January, and they stopped selling beer. They used to have Nausicaa Valley of the Wind themed beer, and they stopped selling alcohol there. And I was very sad to learn that when I got there.
They're going to make a theme park, right? Or like their version of a theme park soon.
There's a Ghibli park, yeah, in the Kansai region, I think, in the middle of Japan.
And it's more like peaceful, just walking around, right?
It's more like integrated with a forest, I believe.
When people see Miyazaki, I assume he's using a price gun or sweeping up, working the register. He can't just exist without doing work. So
I have an answer.
Go for it, please.
I would get I'd either eat corn like a typewriter if I was in a cartoon.
That's fun.
Or I have a spaghetti that was this one big noodle.
That's like the single spaghetti slurper is pretty great. Mm-hmm. I thought you were gonna say you'd eat watermelon with seeds in it and then shoot out the seeds like machine gun bullets.
That's pretty fun too. Yeah. Or maybe I'd float to some pie.
Yeah, floating to pie would be a great way to get around.
Yeah.
Man,
imagine that we could get around all around town. Easy.
If you have a question or comment about the world of chain restaurants, you can email us at feedbag@birdfuck.com or leave us a voicemail at 830-GOTO. That's 830-463-6844. And to get the Doughboys Double, our weekly bonus episode, plus our entire pre-2018 back catalog, subscribe at patreon.com/doughboys. Our producer is Emma Erdbrink. Our associate producer is Amelia Marino. Our engineer is Casey Donahue. Our video editor is Mike Dorfman. Our guests, Bob Mackey, Henry Gilbert. Talking Simpsons is the podcast. Thank you. First off, thank you so much for giving us so much of your time. Thank you so much for making the trip to Universal to do this podcast and for accommodating our COVID diagnoses and shifting schedules. We're really, really glad that you guys moved out so many things around to make this happen. But please tell us about the podcast and anything else you would like to promote.
Oh, sure. It's Talking Simpsons. We've been doing it for 10 years now. We're in our 10th year, which means we're 20% of the way there. And yes, we cover The Simpsons every week. We do an old season and a new season right now. We should be in season 5 and season 15, doing those at the same time. And we have a lot of other shows at our Patreon at patreon.com/Talking Simpsons, covering Futurama and King of the Hill and Batman the Animated Series. We've done all the episodes of The Critic, all the episodes of Mission Hill, and there's a lot more happening there too.
Wow.
Yeah, we're supported at patreon.com/Talking Simpsons, but you can find the regular episodes of Talking Simpsons wherever you find podcasts. And we get really in depth. We explain every joke. We want every answer. We have purchased old scripts sometimes to read them on the air, like we did when Mitch did Camp Krusty. We've interviewed many people who've worked on the show, and we've had on a lot of Doughboys family members on the show, not just Nick and Mitch for their great episodes, but also people like Eva Anderson and Neil Campbell and all of the Sloppy Boys. We've had so many great guests on Talking Simpsons, and we are so happy to finally get to do it. And next time we can be in person, we'd love it.
We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out sooner rather than later. But great to have y'all on, and people should absolutely check out Talking Simpsons.
100%. We love doing it. You guys are the best.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. You guys are the best. We love Doughboys.
Mm-hmm. God bless you.
We love doing it. I have 2 shout outs I want to give.
Oh, please.
One, I saw Doris at our old friend from Spitz.
Oh, I've heard when we reviewed Spitz with John Hodgman.
Yeah, I just saw her recently. I said I'd give her a shout out on the show because I was there with a mystery guest. And I bought him lunch.
Huh.
And
there's a real theme here.
Yeah.
and she was like, I heard a lot of people bothered me after the episode came out.
Man,
she didn't say bothered
Sorry,
me, but and then also when I used to go to Sunday McLean's, this guy Mike Bungie, he used to manage there, and he has cancer, and there's a GoFundMe for me whoever enjoyed Sunday McLean's, a guy who used to run Sunday McLean's. So if you want to, we'll post that GoFundMe if you want to toss some donations Bungie's way. But a good guy who's dealing with some stuff. So there you go.
For sure. Hey, that'll do it for this episode of Doughboys. Until next time, for the Spoon Man, Mike Mitchell, I'm Nick Weiger. Happy eating.
See ya.
Hey, buddy, the Doughboys year-end finale will be live and live-streamed, Saturday, December 14th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific at Dynasty Typewriter in LA. You will be able to watch a live stream as well. Join me and Mitch and special guests for a holiday wrap-up of 2024. Wow. Live stream tickets available at birdfuck.com. Sources for the intro are in the episode description.
That was a Headgum podcast.